Way! I always wait for a brownout now, but okay, we got through it. Hello, viewer. Today it is a Sunday, June the 11th, 2023. I am Mr. Brown, and I trust you are all doing very well today. Very warm in Blighty. Scotchio. On this evening stream backslash podcast, we are discussing the goings on in the entertainment and on the social media. But before we begin, you can find us here on the YouTube, or if you prefer your entertainment in the podcast form, we are also on the Spotify. The links are in the description. So, if you've not shut down for the evening, as I always say, lots to get through. Shall we get the guests out? You know it. Let's do it. Of course we should. So, first up, he is the backbone of Sunday nights. And as I always say, you know I genuinely love this guy. It is the fantastic Matt Cat, or Listening Linda from now on.
What's up,
Or
nerds?
listen.
Listen. What's up, nerds? How are you, Mr. Brown?
I'm okay, a little bit warm. How
Oh,
are
right
you?
on. I'm doing all right. It's rainy here where I'm at, so it's been a really kind of just like a whatever kind of day.
I think it's been in the 80s in Blighty today.
Oh, right on.
And because
I
we're
prefer the
British, we
80s.
moan about it.
Yeah, I can't stand rain, so I prefer the heat over rain.
You like it hot?
Yeah, you know it.
How's the channel going, buddy? Excuse
I
me.
think it's going pretty good. Slowly but
Are
surely.
you sure
But
about that?
yeah, I think so. I
Slow and
mean,
steady.
slow
That's
and
the
steady.
race.
Yes, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
What amazing content have you got upcoming?
Well, I'm gonna do a Transformers review tomorrow, and just whatever little news pops up, all nerd news and everything.
Have you ever thought about live streaming?
Yeah, but
You
I
should do.
mean,
Give it a
I
blast.
will see. I don't know. I feel like I would just mess it up. Me and
Well,
technology
that's me
don't.
every time, but we somehow muddle through.
All right, you've convinced me. I'll give it a go.
Yeah, get some points on. So everything good, my friend.
Everything is good.
Shall we get the next body
Yeah,
out?
yeah, do it.
Okay, let me consult my script. Next, we see the good inside our next guest. He may sound a little bit different. It's the Dark Sith Lord Jord.
Good
Hello there.
evening. Hello.
Hello, dude. How are you?
I'm okay, thank you. How are you?
Not too bad. How's your channel going, my friend?
I think it's going all right. I haven't checked today. But yeah, busy. I have a new microphone and a new interface, which is why I'm sounding different. And I'm still pressing
Yes,
buttons
it
to
sounds
see what it
fantastic.
does. So it's not actually set up, so I'm gonna sound like this until I figure out how the hell it's supposed to work.
Well, it sounds okay, but not up to your usual standard, my friend.
I'm
Teething
wondering
problems,
whether
I see.
actually I've even connected it to stream. That might be a thing I didn't think to check. Oh well.
Is it turned on?
Oh, the microphone is. It sounds fine when it goes through my audio recorder, but it does occur to me that StreamYards can allow you to connect different things, doesn't it? And I haven't
Oh,
checked that.
yes.
So,
Oh, yes.
anyway, yeah. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Not too bad.
Wait, if I do this, can you hear it?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, I can
Okay.
hear him. Yeah.
Okay, so it is the microphone. Fair enough.
Okay. Did you finally clear copyright hell?
Yeah, that went through earlier in the week, beginning of the week, I think. So that's all done, which means I now just have a month's worth of other stuff to catch up on.
What's next on the bill? Are you doing some trans stuff?
No,
Transformers?
no, I started Transformers and I have a life and basic sensibility and taste, so I ditched it. And yeah, The Mandalorian Part 2, sort of scripting that away, but it will probably come out after The Flash at this point, I think.
Here you go, Lord. Fiona M's coming in hot. Platoon sounds sick. Now, is that the American slang meaning, or
I have no idea. Who knows? Could be either
I
one.
don't either. I'm not with such things. Anyway, moving on. So, everything good, my friend?
All good, thank you. Yes.
Shall we get the next body out?
Sounds like a plan.
It does. Let's do it. Okay. Next, he is one of our own from the chat. He's back for the second time. You know who it is. It is the uninspired reviewer.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. How are you, my
Hi.
friend?
I'm doing good, and you, Mr. Brown?
Yeah, not too bad. Great to have you back, my friend.
It's great to be back.
How's your channel going?
Oh, it's going really, really well. Really good. I'm happy. Very happy.
Dread video doing quite good.
Yeah, it had passed 200K. So I actually thought that it would have stopped after 600 views a couple of months ago. But then, well, I don't know. YouTube, the algorithm decided to pick it up 7 months later. Take me from 600 to 200,000.
The mighty algorithm.
Yep. It's great.
My The Spy Who Loved Me stream just hits the algorithm every day. So I literally get 200 views per day.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's like the best. Because
It's a shame I've only earned about £4 from it for like 300,000 views. But there you go. Got to take what you can. So
Yeah, it's
everything
true.
good, my friend?
Yeah, everything's perfect. It was a sunny day today, but now I'm expecting a thunderstorm in like an hour or two. So we'll see how that goes.
It teased a thunderstorm here, but it just didn't quite happen. So great to have you on, my friend. Shall we get the next body out?
Yes, we shall.
Okay. And last, but by no means least, he's been away for a week or two. He is the purveyor of meh entertainment, according to the Lord. It is old Blue Boy himself, the movie cynic.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Hoi.
You all right?
Oh yeah, I'm great. How are you?
Sure. Yeah, I'm all right. Better.
Yeah.
Better for seeing you, mate. You all right? Been a while.
It has been a while. I know. I keep. I'm either busy or gone, so I apologize. I'm back.
He's back, everybody. How's your channel going?
Channel's doing well. This week's going to be a busy one. That's for sure.
What's on the horizon for the folks at home?
Tomorrow will be Transformers and
Yes.
Beast Up, and then Wednesday will be finally that Rings of Power compilation video, and then Thursday or Friday will be the Flash. So 3 videos this week.
Oh, the Flash. Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. I'd like to do something positive. So hopefully that
Break
movie
the
doesn't
habit
suck.
of a lifetime, yes.
Yeah. So hopefully that movie does not suck. That would be amazing.
Oh, I just want, please, Flash, just entertain me for an hour at least. I'll take it. Anyway.
It would be amazing if the movie just didn't suck.
Every time a certain person's on screen, I'm going to close my eyes and pretend it's somebody else. But other than that, please be good. Please be good. So you are well, my friend. Great to have you back.
Good to be back. Thank you.
No more guests. Shall we just get on with it then?
Let's get on with it.
Okay, I need to press some buttons.
Yeah, let's do
Bear with
this.
me. End of week musings. Sunday, June the 11th, 2022, episode 148. 208. If you've made it this far and you're enjoying this, please like, share, and subscribe. We need those clicks, baby. Most important. And if you're feeling generous, there are links in the description or the pinned message. Okay, so first up, Superman and Lois.
Yes.
Go on listening, Linda. Listen.
The show is still good. I really like it a lot. We only have 2 episodes left, and the Lex Luthor is finally going to show up in the next episode. So I can't wait to see and they finally released Bizarro, and he's up and moving. So hopefully we get another really good battle sequence between those two. And I'm quite excited. I really hope this show gets a season 4. But yeah, it was really good.
Still don't know, do they?
They don't. That's what really bothers me about it, is because Nexstar, who is doing it right now, they bought, and I put that in quotations. Listen, they bought the CW, but they don't have the rights to the first 2 seasons, and they're like, it's really hard for people to find a show when you don't have past content to really get them involved and loving it, kind of thing. So they said they don't know. They're weighing down their options. And the thing is, some articles are saying that it's between this and Gotham Knights. And Gotham Knights,
What?
I read one article where it said
shit.
Gotham Knights is it really is the cheapest show that the CW has ever produced. So I'm all like, well, and Superman and Lois is one of the more expensive shows they've ever produced. And I'm all like, yeah, of course they're going to pick the cheaper, crappier show because they don't have to spend out much money. But I really like the show. I think the writing is excellent. I think the acting is really good.
It is.
I think that, this season hasn't had as many action sequences as I would like.
The saving for the last 2 episodes.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think the last 2 episodes are going to be... Yeah, I think it's going to be, just a big knockdown, drag-out fight kind of thing. And I think it's going to be excellent, and I'm quite excited for it.
Apparently, this season is doing very, very well. More and more people are watching this.
Good.
It has helped that it doesn't have about 4 weeks in between episodes.
Yeah, except this week they are taking a 1-week break. So this week
What?
I know. They are taking a 1-week break. So we won't get won't get an episode this season, but with the following one we'll get the 2 episodes back to back each week. So they're just taking 1 week off.
I think there's only 2 episodes left.
There's only 2 episodes left. So
They're keeping us waiting, aren't they?
Yeah, I'm quite excited about it. I really do like this show a lot, and it's just really, really good.
What did you think to the is it Onomatopoeia? This week?
Onomatopoeia.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to give anything away, but
Spoilers possibly.
Yeah, this is the thing. Is it good? Listen. This is the onomatopoeia character in this show is not my onomatopoeia from the comic books.
Yeah.
It's very different. This onomatopoeia has superpowers, and then the cancer storyline was a little like, okay, like in terms of like, I was just like, well, I guess they had to give another character cancer, so I guess, why not her? But it was just really, I would prefer the one from the comic books just because I thought that would be a little bit like more interesting. But we don't have to worry about her anymore because she's no longer, sorry, spoiler, she's dead. So we are going to be just fine without her. But I thought the actress did a good job, though, if that means anything. So we'll see.
I thought it was an excellent episode.
Yeah, it was a good episode. Yeah. I liked it when she did that, when she reached out to that one of what's his face's henchman. She's like, wait, and she did her powers, and he just like blew up like a meat sack. He just like, and he was like gone. I was like,
very, very. That was a surprise, and I liked it.
Yeah, I did too. I was like, oh man,
it reminded me of The Boys a little bit.
Oh yeah. That's a good point. Yeah. I would agree. But it was. I liked it. I was like, yeah.
So, as we always say, James Gunn, get it renewed. It's fantastic.
Yeah, please.
Sort the lawyer stuff out. Just get it renewed.
Yeah, for sure.
We need season 4. I think there's another 2 seasons of this.
I agree. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, this season has been fantastic.
Yeah.
And Bizarro on the way.
Yeah, can't get enough Bizarro.
Okay, shall we move on?
Absolutely.
That's Superman and Lois, everybody. Should be watching it. Yes.
Oof.
First of all, who's seen this?
I definitely did.
I saw it today, yeah.
Not me.
Blue Man?
Yep.
Go for it.
I went and saw it.
No C words, please.
Well, I was giving this movie the benefit of the doubt, even though I didn't like any of Michael Bay's Transformers movies except for the first one. And I watched Bumblebee after I saw this, and it was okay. It was not as great as everyone made it out to be. But I gave this one a break because of Maximals. They got me in my 90s kid heart, and then they disappointed me. The Maximals are barely in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's essentially, it might as well be a Michael Bay Transformers movie because it's basically a clone of it. If you had his name above it, I would never have questioned it. It's basically a clone of his directing style. There's no originality whatsoever in the director that ended up doing this movie.
Who was the director? Anybody know? Anybody care?
Not really.
Yeah.
I think his name was Stephen Capel Jr.
I think you say Stephen King then.
No. But anyway, the only thing that's better about it than Bay's films is the fact that it's shorter. So I was put out of my misery faster. But yeah, it's basically the exact same thing as you're going to get in every movie. In my review of it, I have a very long joke about trying to figure out the name of the MacGuffin in this movie, and I just go over the MacGuffin that's in all of the previous movies. It's this one. Oh no, it's actually this one. Oh no, it's actually this one.
Are we going to say spoilers?
I mean, that's not even a spoiler.
Yeah, it's not like
it's in the plot.
Pre-warn people.
I'm not spoiling anything. I'm not.
Why is it that bad?
Yeah,
there's nothing to spoil.
It's impossible to spoil this film. Completely impossible.
Is it a good bad movie, or is it just a bad movie?
No, it's a bland bad movie. Like there's nothing redeeming about it because the things there, like one thing that I would have liked, I liked where they were going with Optimus Primal. I like him, but they barely used the Maximals at all. I think one of the Maximals has like one fucking line in the whole movie. It's really, really pathetic. And they don't even take the things that worked in previous movies and amplify those. They take all of the bad lessons and keep running with those. So like Optimus Prime, I don't know how anyone actually likes Optimus Prime in these movies other than the fact that he's Optimus Prime. So you're like, well, he is cool because he is cool.
Prime.
He it's character assassination to the max. Even Peter Cullen, who voices Optimus Prime, has talked about how he hated having to say some of the lines in the previous movies because Optimus Prime will say shit like, why don't you just die? And that's not stuff he says. And sure as hell, in this movie with a new director and writer, he says the same kind of cringe shit. It's like Zack Snyder directed Optimus Prime. It's like, here, make him edgier.
Speaking of Zack Snyder, Jaden Smith eyes. Michael Bay is much like Zack Snyder. I think this is aimed at you. You just don't understand the underlying brilliance.
You don't understand Bayhem. Bayhem is art.
All right. They really missed. There are plot elements that really would have worked. I think, even though I don't think Bumblebee was as good of a movie as everyone made it out to be, it was still
okay.
It was okay, and it showed that
I fell asleep watching Bumblebee 4 times.
Heart was in the right place.
Yeah, the heart was in the right place, and it did show that a smaller scale movie is probably the way to go because you should build up to these big grand movies, kind of like the Avengers did, and kind of earn it. But with this, it's just not. Like, you could have had a really cool story with Optimus Prime and Optimus Primal and Optimus learning from Primal of how to be a better leader. Like, they kind of sort of want to touch on that in this movie, but they just throw it right away. It's nothing. It's a nothing burger. The main actor is absolutely atrocious. He's literally like, you ever see those goats that get scared and they just freeze and have that face? That's that fucking guy in the entire movie.
Yeah, but the what I've seen, the boxes are ticked for the actor.
Oh yeah, but that's not even a thing. Like, if anything, like, hey, minorities, you get to be in a shitty Transformers movie now. Congrats!
Yay!
Congratulations. So yeah, this movie's ass.
Is the CGI any good?
Yeah, the one thing that I think all of the Transformers movies have going for them, I had them on in the background while I was writing the script so I could stay mad, was that the CGI is very good. Like, the films hold up. They look great. And I'll give them credit, too, that Optimus at least doesn't have those stupid flames on them. They took that out in Bumblebee, And well, granted, that's kind of a soft reboot and takes place in the past. And this one's kind of a sequel to Bumblebee, but pre-Michael Bay movies. So the Transformers still look cool. So we'll give them that.
Linda, thoughts?
Listen, I agree with a lot of what Movie Cynic said. I thought the CGI was good. I liked it a lot. You could see all those little moving parts that they did. I also had the same thing about the Maximals. The whole time I was like, why are the Maximals here? They're in it for like 5 minutes to fight everybody at the end. And then Rhinox and Cheetor, like you said, they have one line each and it's against the Autobots. And they're like, don't move. And I'm like, what's going on here? And then it's so boring in between all the fight sequences. Like I was just like so bored. And I took my son to go see this. We had a boys club day, and he was bored. They'd have the fight sequences, and then for like you have the first opening sequence, and it's like 5 minutes long, and you kind of get some cool fighting or whatever, and then like talkie, but among the Maximals, and then it's like 20 minutes until the next fight sequence. And you're like, the whole time, me and my son my son was like, can we go? And I was like, no, we paid for this movie. We're watching, because he wanted to watch them fight and stuff. And then they didn't even show up. And then like, I don't know about you, but there was one part, without giving away spoilers, where it got real Power Rangeries real quick. Like there was one part that has to do with the main character where I was just like, what is going on here? This is so Power Rangers. I'm not interested in this. And then, yeah, right, yeah, very, yeah, that's a good one too. And then the humans in this movie are boring. Like the whole time, the main character, I was just like, I hope your little brother dies, just out of spite, asshole. And then the girl in this movie, I'm like, she's all frumpy and she's all like, she's all like, showing up her boss, who is obviously an idiot. And I'm like, how did you get this job? You're not very bright.
White
And this
male.
girl, female,
Black
but
female, actually.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's the start then. Oh, okay. So
yeah.
diversity done well
and
again.
right, and then I did like how they added some little microaggressions in there, like when what's his face, the main character asked the one Autobot, he's like, hey man, where are you from? And he's like, I'm from Cybertron. He's like, he's like, what's up with the accent? And he's like, what accent? And he's like, well, I just thought, because you have an accent, you're from wherever he was from or whatever. And he's like, that's racist. And I was like, okay.
That just doesn't make any sense.
It was just really, it was like, I was like, why is this in here? This is so weird. I was like, I'm just, yeah. And my son, he did like the fight sequences. Like he was having a good time during those. So, I mean, but it's a boring movie. And I'm like with you, the first one I thought was pretty good, but the other ones are just like either they're just bad or they're just okay. Like, and Bumblebee, I didn't really care for Bumblebee. Like I liked the first 5 minutes, and then the rest of the movie I was just like, this movie sucks, but whatever.
Here you go, folks. R2, rest in peace, Cybertronulon.
Mr. Brown, in relation to the comment that was on screen before, it said that you have to make Transformers without the humans. They are they are actually making it. It's coming out next year.
Yeah, I was saying that in my review too, of just like, we're not talking about CGI dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. These characters talk. We don't need humans to feel connected to them. So like, I understand the need to like, well, you got to have humans because you got to ground it so that, we can actually follow. Like, no, you don't. You do not need them.
They're making a prequel trilogy now.
The thing about this too is like, at the very least in the Bay films, like Megan Fox was nice to look at, and they had some high caliber actors playing small roles. So at least at the very least, you could be like, well, that was kind of a funny, witty line because an actor of that caliber delivered it. In this, you have two people that are essentially no names, like they've been in little things,
cheap,
and they're cheap. And the actress, the co-lead, she is abysmal. Like, and it might not be her fault, but she's supposed to be this very intelligent, whatever. She's like the keeper of the fucking museum or whatever.
Right.
She's supposed to be really intelligent, and every line she says is terribly unconvincing because it just sounds like the actress has no clue what the character is actually saying. Like nothing.
Yeah.
Probably just shouldn't be an actress.
Probably.
Lord, have you seen Transformers?
I started it. Yeah. I lasted 29 minutes and 35 seconds.
Wow.
And then I thought, you know what? No, I have other things I could be doing. I could be cutting my nails. I could be staring at a wall.
Setting up brand new mics.
Well, I could have been doing that, but I chose not to because hell, there's nothing like trying it live on air for the first
Oh,
time.
yes.
It was just. I mean, I think Transformers is shit all the time. Anyway, I never understood the shit of
Disagree.
Transformers in a world where Gundam exists, where you can
Disagree.
actually have half decent stories and proper human characters, and machines are used to
Disagree.
evoke human stories. Instead, no, you get the most cringeworthy American attempt to merchandise transforming robots that is really imaginable.
Sounds like
This
they did it better.
film is therefore not a huge disappointment to me, but it was quite surprisingly awful. And I didn't think it would be as bad as it is, but it is really, really, really quite bad. Oh, the human characters point is an interesting one because that's often the defense you hear of, say, like the MonsterVerse films, when people say, well, of course you're not really supposed to pay attention to the fact that Millie Bobby Brown can't act because all you're really supposed to be doing is watching the giant monsters fighting. And I think, yeah, I know that. So why aren't they fighting more often? Why do I keep having to watch the humans try and fail to act with their cringy, shitty dialogue? Yeah, give us more giant robots if that's the marketing pitch, but don't pretend that this is also a human story with, messages and plot and things that actually matter to people with taste.
Yeah.
Here you go, folks. Black Lives or Black Votes. No one wants humans in these movies.
Unless it's Megan Fox.
For sure.
Not saying anything.
Why do all these movies take place on Earth? I don't think our planet is that interesting, if you ask me. I think that you could create a much more. I guess so, but I'm just like, man. I was like, like the Maximals in the beginning. I was like, I'd much rather stay on that planet for a whole movie, see what happens there. But they didn't do that.
Yeah, I had to look it up because I know nothing about any of this, and so I had to look it up because I was going to do a review of it, and I've got 6 pages of review because I started reviewing it as I was watching. It's not going to go anywhere because it went
29 minutes.
Yeah, it went on a longer side about crabs because it's more interesting.
Is that what you tried to give me?
I'm about the crabs. Anyone who's reviewing the film, if you want this weird paragraph about crabs, you can have it because I probably won't ever use it. But I got this 6 pages of the review, and because I don't know any of these names, places, or people, I had to look them up. It's like, what are these animal things called? Oh God, Maximal. Ooh, that's pretty cringe. That's already making me cringe. The big bad guy's called Unicron, I think it is, which just made me really want to go and watch Gundam Unicorn because it's better. And then obviously like the purely generic nature, like guy turns up, evil big mecha Satan version of. Who's the big bad guy in Justice League?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's Steppenwolf and Darkseid all over again.
Yeah.
It's Zack Snyder's Justice League, but Transformers.
It's that, or like the wizard guy in Infinity War who's working for Thanos.
Yeah,
he also turns up to get the MacGuffin and he can't find it. But in case that you missed the basic plot of the film, well, you can't miss the plot of the film because this film is clearly aimed at people with single-digit IQ. So it restates every single aspect of its plot and its premise 4 times within the first 6 minutes, because I was counting. You get the introductory voiceover, giant planet-killing god is turning up to eat planet, okay? You get the MacGuffin, or the McMuffin, which is the trans-warp dimensional whatever the fuck, and he needs that, and then the gorilla guy, he needs to run away with it, and then evil mecha Hitler Darkseid person is really unhappy that he doesn't have it, so he sends off his equivalent of Steppenwolf to pick it up. And I don't know if it's ever answered in the film why Steppenwolf can travel through dimensions. Well,
it's not really.
It's not. I actually put in the script is that I bet these questions will be answered. This sounds exactly like the kind of film that's concerned with answering basic questions about itself, but no.
Yeah, if you want to know that there truly are no spoilers, you've seen this movie if you've seen any of the other movies. Because let me just give you a little taste from my
first
review.
one. Listen, first Transformers movie was good.
Yeah, and that's fine because it was the first one. But let me give you a little taste from the review. The movie starts on the Maximals' home planet as they're running away from new bad guy, same as the old bad guy. They have the MacGuffin known as the Allspark. Whoops, that was the original film.
Again.
I mean the Energon source. Oh, damn it, that was the second movie. Sorry, I mean the Ark. Oh no, fuck, that was the third movie. It's the Seed. Oh no, wait, that was the fourth movie. The MacGuffin this time around is called the Merlin Staff. Oh wait, the Little Mermaid. That was the fifth movie. The MacGuffin in this one's called the Transwarp Key.
That's so
Yeah,
true.
it's the
That's so true.
same movie
Damn.
over and over. It's terrible.
At least Michael Bay can make it entertaining.
He's a
Speaking,
producer on this one, isn't he? But he's not actually
Yeah.
writing
Well,
and directing it.
I think they just stuck his name on it. That's it. But I don't
Yeah.
think he did anything.
it probably takes a little bit off the end.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
probably gets a percentage or something.
Here you go, Drew Gordon. This was said a while ago. I'm going to rewatch 13 Hours sometime.
I love that movie.
I remember when it was better than Sicario 2, at least. A
Yeah,
very,
th-
very good Michael Bay movie, everybody. 13
Yep.
Hours from, is it Benghazi?
yeah.
Great
Benghazi.
Benghazi. So, fellas, with everything you've said, we recommend Transformers.
I recommend you
100%.
watch my review of it. 100%.
Oh, do we have to?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Better watch his review then.
Mm-hmm.
Should we do some super
And
chats?
it's so bad I won't be reviewing it. So that
Damn,
probably tells you
that
something.
is it took me 3 days to write 3,500 words. That's how much I avoided writing about this.
Damn.
Because I actually said, because like even when I review really shit films, my excuse is, A, it's funny, and it's it's
Yeah,
fun to
paid
have
for it.
fun at the expense of bad films. Also, bad films can be a really useful way of broaching into writing basics that people often forget or overlook, or they don't pay enough attention to. So you can learn something from bad films, and that's sort of my defense for going to them so often. But with this one,
Good.
I just found myself going through and it's like there is nothing that anyone who is sentient can learn from this film. It's there's nothing that's being like improved. You can't look at that plot and
Brutal.
say this is how you could turn this into a good movie, because it just can't ever be. It's impossible.
Lord, are you available to test your brand new mic out for a couple of super chats, please?
Yeah, why not?
Mainly because I can't pronounce that.
Hephaestus Rising for 550 Canadian, I think,
No,
or
they were
Californian
California.
communist dollars.
Californian woke dollars, yes.
Communists don't have dollars; they have money. Gun of the Unicorn is definitely worth a recommendation. How about Iron-Blooded Orphans? I don't think I've seen Iron-Blooded Orphans yet. The last one I watched was the 8th MS Team, which was okay, actually, surprisingly good for its premise. Iron-Blooded Orphans is on my list. I watch maybe a new Gundam series every year and a half, so there's a huge long list of them that keep building up. But the old ones are fun.
And one more.
Again, from Hephaestus Rising, even for 550 communist dollars. Simping for Ian M. Banks. The Culture series is a masterclass in sci-fi writing. Spread the word in this era of intellectually bankrupt stories. I have heard of Ian M. Banks. I don't think I've ever read anything he's done yet, though. So I'll add him to the list.
He's posh because he's got 2 eyes in his name. Okay. Sorry, let me get rid of that. Ba-da-ba-ba. Professional. Shall we move on? I fear we got very, very bogged down, but be warned, we're not kind of moving on.
Hey, it's the movie of the week. It's fine.
Yeah.
Dibbidi-bidi, dibbidi-bidi, dibbidi-bidi. Lord Court's news round. Let's see what we've got. We're not kind of moving on.
Oh, God, of course.
Transformers Rise of the Beast packs a few fun surprises, but is ultimately one of the most bland films
I
Of-
loved it. Sorry.
the franchise. Listen,
Listen. I really would know what what are the surprises, the fun surprises. I'm confused.
That was
No,
going to be
there
my
are no
question. Has
surprises.
anyone who's
Yeah,
actually seen the whole thing be able to name me a single
Yeah.
fun surprise that's in this film?
Like,
I think the
anybody?
one surprise is that they had the guts to make the same movie for the 7th time. Almost beat by beat. They're just like, instead of Megatron, call that guy Scourge. Instead of the Allspark, call that thing the Transwarp Key.
That's
It's
so
all-
true.
It's all the same.
It is. That's so
The
true.
magic transformer formula.
Oh yeah, make sure to incapacitate Bumblebee like we always do.
Is it-
so
is
the
it just-
audience goes, "Aw."
is it just modern day word salad for old terms?
It's like we're trying to find a new way to call the same
Yeah.
movie shitty. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Mind you, I mean, I did say it's marketed at single-digit IQ people, and that quote is from discussing film. So, I mean, it's quite possible they did find something to enjoy about the thing.
I
They
mean,
cast
in,
a minority as a criminal. That
Yeah,
that
I
a
mentioned
fun
that.
song.
I brought that up too, dude.
Mexican character, life
Oh
of crime.
no.
But it's fine though, you
Amazing.
see, because the film gets in a few shots about evil, rapacious capitalism. He steals a Porsche because the person who he's stealing from gives too much money to charity, and that proves that he's too rich, and so he won't miss his Porsche. The thing the film doesn't understand is that if you steal a guy's car, he's going to have to use the money he would otherwise have given to charity to buy himself a new car.
Right.
So that's not really how this works. Kills
Yeah.
lots of policemen in the opening half an hour as well,
Oh,
because
it's
that's
okay.
fun.
A
It's
lot
okay,
of
Cops
it's
are
all right.
bastards. That's
Yep.
good. Otherwise, I don't know.
There you go. Kranatos, written by AI.
You might as well have. It could just be like, hey,
Probably not that good, is it?
write the same script as Transformers 1 through 6, but just change the names of the characters.
Chat GPT in full effect.
Yep. Yeah, I said in my script that it's not just mindless, it's literally brainless. It is an empty skull.
Yes.
Yowza.
Yikes.
And you did
So-
call my son was sad when Bumblebee died.
I told you that's what it's for. It's like, oh no, not Bumblebee.
Because as soon as it happened, he's like, I don't like this movie anymore. And I was like, I'm sorry, dude. And he's like, can we go? And I was like, no, we're not leaving. I was like, I just spent $32 on tickets.
I
was
didn't
like,
understand. Apparently, the audience is enjoying this. At least the audience that initially went out to see it like Thursday and Friday nights. Because like when I was in the theater, when
pissed.
Bumblebee was incapacitated, like the audience reacted exactly as the movie wanted them to, and I was just like, "You fucking chuds!" I swear. Because in my mind, I was just like, again.
Yeah.
But well, whatever.
Does Bumblebee speak in this one?
Not in words. It's all in sound bites and stuff like he
Oh.
does in the other ones. I don't like that at all.
Yeah, he can be dismantled and brought back to life, but you can't have him speak again. ever.
Right.
Yeah.
Here you go, folks. R2, rest in peace, Bumble Boulon. Jay Goodwin, rest in peace, Bogulon. Okay, so we're still recommending it, yes?
Yes, absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah,
Go spend
yeah,
your money
sure.
on Transformers. There you go.
Yeah,
Okay,
there you go.
be warned, we're not kind of moving on.
Okay.
Right on.
Transformers Rise of the Beasts earns $171
Yeah.
in the film's worldwide opening weekend.
So it opened better than The Little Mermaid, and the good thing for them is that Transformers movies also make like 65 to sometimes 70% of their box office total outside of domestic. So
China.
they
Yeah.
might be able to actually break even. But the last two movies, The Last Night that came out in 2017 lost like $100 to $200 million for the studio and for Hasbro.
Yep.
Bumblebee was already in production, so they couldn't put the brakes on that bitch, and it made less than the other one. So this was kind of a like, hey, let's get this thing back on track, and it's still probably going to lose money.
Yeah, but at this point, they must have a lot of faith in the franchise because this is a $200 million budget movie. Plus, they already have the that Transformers 1 prequel in production that's coming out just next year. So
It's ballsy.
mean,
I don't know what they're
yeah.
thinking. Unless they're splitting costs amongst like a lot of investors in different places. Like I don't know
was
how
there
they're
a lot
affording
of Chinese things like in I think it was The Last Night that there was a lot of Chinese things. Maybe they have
No,
Chinese investors.
what is kind of cool, what I did like, and this was just a personal thing, is like the movie takes place like half of it in Peru, and
Oh.
it's just because of the fact
Peru,
that
nice.
they're like, we haven't
Paddington,
gone
eh?
there yet, so let's just go to Peru.
Yeah.
And I've been to Peru, and I went to Machu Picchu, and it's amazing.
Fantastic
So it was like
place.
really
Nice.
cool to see it on the big screen, but that's just a personal thing. It doesn't make the movie actually any good. It really was just like, hey, we haven't been to this beautiful spot on Earth yet. Let's have the movie go there. Okay.
Here you go, folks. Jay Goslin, how many blockbusters these days actually make a profit?
Oh, very
I
few.
wonder if it's like we have to produce these things to keep the IP.
Yes.
Right.
Like it's better to
ESG
have an
money.
intellectual property than to not have one. So
Right.
I
Mm.
don't know. I don't know how it works.
It is kind of evidence, though. I think that the fact that it makes any money at all, when something terrible comes out and you cover it on YouTube, and you'll get a few people in your comment section saying, "Why you hate watching it? It only exists because you're hate watching it." It's like, the number of hate watchers is vastly dwarfed by the number of people thick enough to actually pay money to see this film. So, like, no one's really
God.
hate watching Transformers: Rise of the Beasts,
Pulling
but
no
lots of people are
punches
going
tonight.
to see it anyway. And it's still 171 million. It's just a really depressing number. Your public education system is failing.
I'm sure that it'll do very well on video on demand.
Yeah, I think they eventually these movies will turn a profit, even if they're
Yeah.
not initially at the box office. So it's kind of like that, and it's like, well, we keep the IP in the public's eye too, and there is, well, it seems like they don't care about balance, because like people will get fed up with the product eventually. I mean, look what happened. There was 2014 was the last time that a Transformers movie made like $1.1 billion, and then in 2017 the next one made less than half that and lost them like 200 million.
Yes.
I think people just want at least something entertaining. Maybe even they wouldn't care about the story. Well, I mean, most people don't care about the story nowadays. So
What was the guy's name? Is it Shia LaBeouf?
Shia LaBeouf?
LaBeouf. Him and Megan Fox for the first 3 films, or 2 films, because they got rid of Megan on one, didn't they?
Yeah, the third one.
I thought they did very, very well with that. It's what people wanted. Even Shia LaBeouf did a pretty decent job.
I have a montage of him screaming that goes on for about 45 seconds.
Oh,
So I don't know about that, but
first film was good. I've got a soft spot for the second one, even though everybody slags it off. But anyway, Tom Abuela, no, Hasbro owns these IPs outright.
Yeah, but maybe to keep the rights to the IP, they have to keep it, like they have to keep making movies just to be able to
Possibly.
keep it anyways.
Yeah.
The movie
Okay.
studios anyways.
Okay.
on.
Is it going to fall flat on its face next week?
oh, domestically it's going to
100%.
eat shit 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Transformers: Rise of the Beasts, thoroughly recommended by the panel. So let's move on.
Yeah.
Here you go, folks. The Little Mermaid declared a massive flop for Disney by box office analyst.
Not just one analyst. I mean, it's
All
a
of
fact.
them.
It is a fact. Yeah, you can't escape it. It bombed.
Yeah, and can I just say I'm so happy that it did. I have so many people in
Same.
my life that are
Yeah.
they're like before
Same.
it came out, they're like, this is gonna make $1 billion. You don't know what you're talking about.
What?
You're just hating on it because they changed the race of the character. I'm like, no, it doesn't look good, you guys.
Yeah,
And then-
it looks like garbage.
yeah, I got called so many things by people in my actual real life that I'm all like, okay, I really, I'm praying to the Jesus that this flops hard because so then I can just shove it in your stupid faces. And I did. I was so mean about it too. I was like, you can suck it, and here's why. And so this makes me happy. I'm not gonna lie.
Linda, are you available for a chat, please?
Absolutely. Listen, it's a terrible movie, period. So put that in your pipe and smoke it.
There is someone in my the comment section under my review who began their comment with, what was it? Am I the only person who really liked this film?
Probably.
Which is the obvious answer is yes, you are the only person who actually likes this film. Nobody really likes this film. Some people pretend they like it, but not enough to make it not a flop. But I don't know anyone who really sort of fawns over it for reasons to do with itself, as opposed to its casting, for example.
She's just majestic.
That's really funny.
It's lifeless and it's soulless and it does nothing. It doesn't need to exist. It's a huge
much like this
downgrade,
channel.
even on the 89 film, which is a huge downgrade on the fairy tale already. Nothing's getting any better with this. I don't understand why you would. I mean, it's not a live action remake. They are animating 95% of the shot anyway. But if you're going to do that, why the hell would you make a photorealistic fish a main character? Fish cannot express. They can't emote. Fish don't have faces. It's just a terrible, terrible decision all around. Weekend Warrior, who we had on VSub once before, he put out a review yesterday or the day before. And he hadn't even watched the film. And he said, I didn't need to watch the film. I saw the trailers and then I watched the reviews. And it turns out I was completely right. And he was, credit to him. He did, like, you could tell just from trailers.
Sorry, John.
I said in the comment section, like, not watching the film was actually an option, which I kind of wish that I had taken. But hell, it was an excuse to read the fairy tale again. That was fun and enriching, unlike the film.
Yeah, man, I really hate like this weird ass remake thing because we lost.
Oh,
Map.
Catty bailed. Is that enough?
He hated this movie so much.
Well, someone's garroted him because they overheard him bad talking the Little Mermaid.
Oh, he's back.
But yeah, I was saying I
Yeah,
really
folks.
just hate the Little
You
Mermaid.
can see me.
Oh, listen.
Sorry,
Awesome.
I moved my mic and I accidentally hit the button right as it hit that little red X, and I was like, no! I was like, oh man, so it just like completely shut down the window, and I was like, oh man, so it was a complete accident.
It's fun. The button to remove you from the stream is right next to the mute button that I use all the time. So if you do just disappear again and it wasn't you, it's probably me by accident.
Oh, gotcha.
What do you mean that mute button?
Yes.
Okay. Iceman, I wonder why Black and Latino people around the world didn't go to watch this, despite the representation. It's almost like the audiences don't really care about skin color of people in movies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you can tell based on, let's see, Disney's release of Black Panther 2, and
Right.
this was all sold as a cultural thing. Like,
Curing,
and it didn't
saving
it
lives.
didn't matter about the story or anything. They pushed the fact that it was, like, hey, a black superhero and hey, a black Little
Yes.
Mermaid, and it reflects in the box office. None of these movies made more internationally than they did domestically. They all made more domestically than they did in the rest of the world. And that is
Yeah.
not the norm anymore. Like, in box office, movies make more internationally, period. It's usually a 40-60
Hopefully.
split, probably on average. In these circumstances, it's a 55-45 split, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So it just
Yeah.
shows, like, the rest of the world does not give a shit about American politics. And like, we sit here in this country and act like everyone does, and they just don't.
Soapbox, everybody.
But weirdly enough, the actual, like, internationally, the numbers, like, the split is 228 million domestic and 185 million internationally. And the highest amount of money made internationally was in the UK with 20 million.
Wow. For this.
Well, because you guys
Yeah.
are just America Junior now.
Cheers, mate.
There are a few people, regrettably, who do care about the color aspect of the character, though. But
Make a
unlike,
good
say,
guess.
if you're reviewing a Black Panther film, for example, and you say, look, it's being sold to you on a false prospectus, everyone assumes that because it's a black superhero, all the black people will go and buy tickets because they have a really low opinion of black people. This film doesn't really have that same support behind it. But what it does have, as I discovered in the comment section again under my video, is a lot of people who really, really do care about the color thing, but for not very good reasons. So no, there are very few Black Americans who are going and saying, yeah, it's a massive victory that Little Mermaid is black. There are quite a few white Americans who are saying this is a step too far. You are not allowed to race swap any character ever for any reason, because race actually kind of matters. That's predictable because you can't go for decades telling everyone that it's terribly important that we have black representation because skin color matters, and then get surprised when white folks turn around and say to you, well, if skin color matters, then don't make white characters black. That's predictable, but it is still regrettable, because I made an argument about this in my video, basically saying there's nothing per se wrong with race swapping. Race has no bearing on art except in art itself. So as long as whatever you're doing accords with your world building, accords with the other characters you're creating, accords with the work of fiction you are recreating, then you can have a character whatever the hell skin color they like. I mean, Treasure Planet sends Jim Hawkins, who's a boy from Essex in the 1700s, to space, and nobody really cared about that. But people are very, very, very uptight about Little Mermaid being cast as black. And missed the part where I said, look, race swapping has to actually accord with world building. So their instinctive response is, you've admitted that it might theoretically be possible that a mermaid can be white, mermaid can be black, sorry. You're wrong because race is important. And those people I hate just as much as the woke lot who tell me the same thing from the other direction.
Eager folks, Bishop Moore, Terry Crews as Winston Churchill. Yeah, I'd buy into that.
It'd probably
But,
be
you know,
entertaining. He's great.
I really want Tom Cruise to play Martin Luther King. I think
Barack
that'd be
Obama.
fantastic. Yeah.
but, but you know, like as someone who's mixed myself, you know, my dad is white, my mom is black, and so I don't know. It's just weird, the arguments where some people use the, oh yeah, I couldn't identify with the character, because me personally, The Little Mermaid, the animated movie, was one of my favorite films growing up. I used to sing Under the Sea every day. I even owned the direct-to-video sequels. Little Mermaid 2 is underrated. Go watch it.
Agreed.
Yeah, and it's so weird. I really liked Ariel. The only, like, with some of the main characters I used to identify as when I was a kid was Marty McFly from Back to the Future and the Little Mermaid, Ariel. And I don't know, I just find it so weird that people keep using this argument that, oh yeah, just because it's not my skin color, well, I can't see. I just don't think that's human, honestly.
No, like growing up, my favorite characters were Sonic the Hedgehog, Spawn.
Well, you
Spawn,
are, you are blue.
Wonder why.
yeah, blue, exactly. But Spawn, who is black, he was my favorite superhero growing up. Period.
Is awesome.
Spawn was awesome, and then Blade, and then when the Matrix came out, I loved Neo, of course, but Morpheus was fantastic. I never thought about this stuff, so it almost feels like it's like socially engineered now to be like, hey,
Of course it is.
you can't actually enjoy this character unless they are of your skin tone.
No,
and that's such a bizarre way of looking at things.
That's
It
the
really
difference
is.
between people like them and people like us. They lecture us that we're the racists, and yet it never crosses our mind. It's only them bringing
It
it
is
up.
them. The problem with them is that them creates more of them on
They
the other
don't.
side.
Yeah.
Those two
They
evil is done
don't.
to evil in return. So it's reactionary movements obviously respond to socially progressive movements. So it's not entirely surprising. But you know, I think it is still worth calling out, you know, the people who make these claims on whatever side they're making them from. So all those people who say no, it can't ever be a black mermaid because it's a Scandinavian folktale, to whom you can point out, well, okay, but Hans Christian Andersen didn't depict the Little Mermaid as a ginger American. So that's a race swap that's taken place in the original. She didn't speak English at all, unless you translated it first. But yeah, and then you get into the weeds of what counts as cultural appropriation and what doesn't. But the depressing thing has been to see that, if anything, white people are caring more about the race of Ariel than black people are. I think ideally nobody should, but there we are.
I mean, Little Mermaid theaters are becoming Fight Club anyway, so.
Yes. Bridget Moore, double ducking standards. It is.
Right on.
Anyway,
Yep.
nobody wanted it.
Nope.
Question before we move on. If the main character wasn't a person of colour, i.e. white, do you think it would have turned a profit?
No.
People
No.
No.
we just didn't want it, did we?
sucks.
We just didn't need it, did we?
Yeah.
No, because the times they have not race swapped characters in these remakes, half of them have been flops too, because they were very bad.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like a separate conversation. Like we can talk about the quality of the movie. It wasn't good. Period. It just was not a good movie.
Exactly.
Okay, on that bombshell, let's move on.
Holy shit, we actually moved on.
It's you just take too long. Super Mario Bros. Movie has already earned 75 million on pay-per-view.
Some of that was me.
Yeah, me too.
What, 70 million?
Yep.
Yeah, I bought.
No, I bought it too because Brittany really liked it, and I was like, all right, I'll give it a try again.
Keep the little lady sweet. Good man.
And I still didn't like it very much.
Oh, bummer. You know what's
Anybody
crazy
like
about
it?
that? I loved it, but you know, it's funny that you say that movie, Cynic, that you didn't like it. But did you like Zelda a lot?
Like the new game?
Like yeah, any one of them, Zelda. Did you?
Oh
like
yeah, Zelda is like my favorite video game franchise.
Yeah, because I was talking to a guy from work. We're around the same age, and he loves Zelda, but he's not a huge fan of Mario. And me,
I love Mario though. I love both.
Oh, Mario.
Oh, see, because I was
Mario.
telling him because he didn't like this movie, and I was like, well, I really loved Mario growing up, but then Zelda, I was just like, it was okay. It's not my favorite, but I don't hate it. But we were just like completely opposite. Like he was very much into Zelda, and I was
Zelda
very
on
much
the
into
way, yeah.
Mario. So
No, I love
Zelda's on the
both
way.
franchises. I love
gotcha.
them,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Well, there just went my little theory out the door.
Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. No big
There
deal.
you go, Tim.
I
I
was
like
trying to
saying
say
this.
that you only hate this film because you're racist against Italians.
Zelda is my favorite games.
You know, I was watching a cooking show and I noticed that when they're pronouncing things from Italy, like ingredients, they'll do it with the accent. They're like, yeah, so I went and grabbed some ricotta cheese. And I was like, yo, if they're making, why is it only Italians that they'll do that with? Because if they were cooking something like Chinese, they wouldn't be like, yes, so I grabbed the ingredients for my pork fried rice.
That's so true. That's so true.
Wouldn't be that. I got the ingredients for my number 44.
That's true. I would totally watch that though if they did. That's funny.
Oh, good for you.
But the Mario movie does unironically has some of the same problems as the Little Mermaid does. It is a fairly soulless thing. It's just
I agree.
This is vaguely familiar.
I can imagine. Yeah.
So we're going to bank on it making money. Now, it worked in this case because, I mean, it's not as bad as The Little Mermaid by any means. There's a bit more to it. It's more fun by a huge mile. But it's still pretty empty in terms of its content and its soul. And doesn't really try and do anything that we haven't seen and probably played before ourselves in the games. So yeah, when it does come to them inevitably doing Zelda, then that's what I hope that they will move on from. You've made the guaranteed cash, so take a risk now.
I've not seen the movie, but my biggest problem is they voice swapped Mario, and I had a problem with that.
Oh, the voices are pretty naff. I mean, they're not awful uniformly, but they're really not very characterful.
Why couldn't they have the original guy who played Mario?
Well, he said, Charles Martinet said that he's too old, really. He couldn't really sustain it. I mean, he's been doing it for ages. Is he in his 70s now or his 80s? So, and it's a heavily spoken role as opposed to just making little weird noises. So you can kind of see that argument. But the reason from the studio's point of view is, of course, he's not a big name. Nobody really knows who he is. Whereas Chris Pratt is a hugely marketable person. Same thing with Seth Rogen. So get as many marketable names attached as possible and you will sell tickets.
I thought they said that one of the reasons why was because it would be annoying to hear Mario's game voice.
That was
for like 2 hours.
That's what I was thinking too, because I was like, it's fun in a game because it's intermittent and you hear it sometimes. I would not want to listen to that shit for an hour and a half.
Oh, no. Have any of you guys heard the French dub of the Super Mario movie?
No.
Man, he sounds as if he just popped off from the video game, and it gets very annoying after a while. I don't watch movies in dub, but I just skim through to see.
Could you give us a sample? What does he talk like?
I really don't know. I mean, he just sounds like Mario, but in French.
I like a spaghetti.
Say something in French, what Mario would have said on the spot.
I'll try and do the Mario accent.
Go on.
C'est moi, Mario. It's just so weird.
Bonjour. Je m'appelle Mario.
I might have to watch this. This sounds so funny.
Oh yeah, I mean, French dub is always funny. That's why I don't watch it. It's just so weird. But I hate French dub. Honestly, I hate it with all my heart.
I think this one's for you, uninspired. Do you want to read it from Kratos? And another one. Oh, sorry. Chat moved up. Drew Gordon. Yes.
Escargot. That's how British people say it. Escargot.
Look at that.
I think you'll find it's Escarrot actually, but
really,
no, it's not. That's just incredibly not French.
A classic trading places gag. Okay, shall we move on?
Yeah.
It's me, Mario.
Okay,
that's awesome.
Across the Spider-Verse has passed. This is 1 week, everybody. 300 million worldwide.
It deserves it. It's a good movie.
It's actually close to 400 million right now. 389.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a lot.
There you go. I think most of it's from actually Andrew. I just finished Spider-Verse for the 4th time. Good movie. I'm not addicted.
Don't they say
experience? It took me 2 attempts to finish it.
Oh man!
What?
I didn't hate it. I just there's a few fairly hefty buts, which is that I think it's benefiting immensely from just being not as shit as everything else around it. Which you can understand because everything else is abysmal, and there are certain parts of this which are good. I'd never seen the original one either until the day before I saw the second one. So I watched them both back to back. The first one I thought was okay, yeah.
It was all right.
But because I saw the first one immediately before the second one, I thought, well, hang on a minute, haven't we already done all of this? Because there's so much in the second one which is just lifted straight from the first one.
That is,
I agree.
I agree.
The pacing is peculiar. I don't think the multiverse stuff makes a huge amount of sense, and it takes the sensible course of skipping over it as quickly as it possibly can to avoid highlighting the nonsense. But you're telling me that every single Spider person goes along with the theory that, spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen it yet, that these incursions are causing immense damage, and that's why you have to stop them from happening, or whatever the main plot is. And the evidence for that is, well, is it Miguel, the big guy? His family disappeared. That's
he's
it.
2099.
There's not a huge amount of evidence to support his suggestion, and the film itself eventually gets bored and tired of it and says, you know what, no, it doesn't actually work that way, and Miles Morales knows it doesn't. He's the only one who does. Every single other Spider person ever has gone along with this very, very flimsy mechanic that's not been properly explained.
To defend the movie, I think actually Andrew messaged me and we were talking about this because I'm not a massive defender of it like he is, but all the same,
well, he's seen it 18 times,
right? He really loves it, but all the same, like it would make sense for Miguel to have just picked Spider-Man that would agree with him. I mean, because they do talk about in the movie that he's very selective with who can actually.
That was used as an excuse to stop Miles being suspicious when he wasn't invited, and is quite quickly dispelled when he goes there and finds that there are hundreds of thousands of spider people. I mean, if that's being picky, if that's being picky and selective, then it's not very picky and selective.
Yeah. And I mean,
half of them are idiots.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was about to say. It makes out all the Spider-Man to be stupid, and plus it doesn't make sense because they say that Spider-Man is so important to each universe. So why the hell are they all just chilling in like a random place?
No, and I brought that up too, just to like argue against myself when I was talking to Andrew. It was just like, but you sit there in the theater and you're kind of arguing with yourself because you're like, yeah, even if I went along with the fact that like if you pick Spider-Man that were stupid, you have to sit there and admit the fact that like Spider-Man are stupid. I don't like thinking about Spider-Man as stupid.
Right.
So you have to like you either go along with it and try and suspend your disbelief, but there's something in the back of your mind that is.
Yeah, folks. Gui Ramos, Cynic X Platoon, Clash of the Titans. That's Beast-up, isn't it? That's Beast-up.
It is. I mean, no, I think I can understand the argument, which is that yeah. But that what he wants people to think that he's been selective, but that is literally in the film itself. That is an excuse. That is not actually the mechanic that's at play. If he is selective, what the hell is the punk guy doing there? The punk guy is completely useless and actually undermines him very, very quickly. He's undermined by a number of the people he's supposedly carefully chosen. So either he's a complete idiot, or the hundreds of thousands of people he's carefully selected are all complete idiots. But you can't really get around that unless you are prepared to overlook it, which you can do, because there are other parts of the film which are redeeming. Again, it is better than everything around it. The visuals are very impressive. It has some pretty nice sort of beats of family and story again. And it has a bit more fun with a more sensible multiverse than, say, Ant-Man Quantumania does. But the praise for this is wild, and I don't think it's supported. I don't think it will hold up in the long run either. I think people will be more critical of this later on.
That entire plot is just to help prop Miles up, which is just kind of like it's not as severe as some other movies have done, where it's kind of like beating down your main character. But Peter Parker really is kind of frowned upon in this movie to prop Miles up a little bit. It's pretty annoying.
Speaking of Peter Parker, hindsight profits, messaging and a watered down Peter Parker overall not impressed.
Yeah, I think that was another reason why I thought this one wasn't quite so good as the first one. The first one was fairly nice and charming and uplifting in its messaging as well, and it doesn't do Peter too dirty. I mean, this is a specific variant of Peter. Obviously, he has a backstory which accounts for his character, but he overcomes that in the end. And the messaging is all, I mean, we were talking about this on Open Bar on Thursday as well. The messaging is all quite sort of universalist. Miles is, his moral lesson is he's just as good at like being a Spider-Man because he has all of the qualities of every other Spider-Man. So there's nothing about, say, well, you're a diverse Spider-Man, that makes you much better, or you know something that Peter never did. It's no, if you are, true of heart, if you're courageous, if you're prepared to sacrifice, then you're just as much of a part of this grander universe as everybody else is, which I liked. Whereas the second one forgets a lot of that. There's a few jokes about the British stealing colonial artifacts from India. There's a capitalism joke in there somewhere. The punk guy seems to think there are still fascists in London. And that's what he spends his time fighting. These people have not been to London in 40 years, apparently, because it's very, very, very left-wing and woke. But so there's bits and pieces like that. And then ultimately, he's being portrayed as much more exceptional than he was in the first one, because he is the only person who initially sees through Miguel's ruse. He's the one who believes he can save everyone. And he persuades a couple of people just in the sheer force of his personality. The only way you can really fix that is if in the third film that's coming out, you actually prove him wrong and you take the bold move of showing that he has to give up someone and somebody important has to die. That will be a good move, and I hope they do that. But I have a nasty feeling they won't, because he's being turned into a bit of a Gary Stu.
No, actually, I actually think that they'll go through with killing someone. I think I know who it'll be, probably. But
yeah, I think I do too, only because I've read the comic books before.
There you go, guys. I thought this as well. Melvin Deeply, hello Melvin. Maybe in his universe, because it's multiverse, isn't it? They have fascists in London.
Well, I wouldn't know because I couldn't understand a word he was saying. His accent was so thick.
The accent was thick and the audio mixing was terrible. Apparently they sent, because I was sitting in the theater actually complaining about it too. I'm like, can you fucking hear this? And apparently that was a known issue and was everywhere.
Especially in the intro, the first 10 minutes. Those were
I couldn't understand anything.
Here you go, folks. Joe Darkness coming in with a hammer blow. Peter Parquet is Spider-Man.
Yeah, sure. And Miles Morales is a
different
Spider-Man.
And like this whole argument, I think, just like when anything's successful or is considered good, there's always some sort of backlash. I think it's a pretty fair thing to say that Miles Morales is a Spider-Man, and you can't really argue. You cannot try and force him to be the Spider-Man for anybody, because everyone just knows him as Miles Morales.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Is what it is.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like we're trying to make Miles Morales the Spider-Man, the successor of Peter Parker. And it's like, no, just let him be himself, like Miguel O'Hara. He's Spider-Man 2099. Just give him his own thing.
And you're not serving your argument by just having Miles constantly fight watered down or B-list versions of Peter Parker's enemies.
Sloppy seconds.
So like stop. Just let things be what they are. The movie's pretty good. No, Gwen isn't a transformer. Let it go.
Oh, but the color scheme, Cynic. The color scheme proves that she is.
But the color scheme.
They are.
Miles likes dick.
Oh my god.
Yes, so Miles likes his best mate. His best friend is called Richard. Shall we move on?
Yes.
Sure.
Speaking of Peter Parquet, Tom Holland says the script for Spider-Man 4 is looking really good so far.
Hope so.
I actually hope that they take a playbook from The Amazing Spider-Man, which is my personal favorite Spider-Man movie.
Ooh,
and yeah, honestly, I really enjoyed The Amazing Spider-Man.
It's not a bad movie. Yeah, it's not.
But I like it for very specific reasons that aren't the story, and that's what I want them to take and put into this new Tom Holland Spider-Man. It's just the web swinging. Like, we need Andrew Garfield's web swinging. For example, if you look at Insomniac Games' Spider-Man, you can clearly tell that they watched The Amazing Spider-Man and basically copied everything.
Yes, they did. Yep.
And it's the best web swinging we've ever had for Spider-Man. It's the best web shooters.
Swinging.
Everything is it's incredible. And that's the reason I totally agree with that.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like the MCU kind of took a step back. You don't actually see Peter in his trilogy swinging through New York City a lot.
Yeah,
it's normally like neighborhoods or like out in the fucking woods or something. It's some weird places. It's never in between
woods.
Yeah, or like in outer space, but never in his home.
As a Brit, swinging means something totally different. Jay Goodwin.
You would know from experience.
Of course. Jay Goodwin, mostly because it's blank pages. Brutal. That's the script, by the way.
Tom
Sorry,
Holland
Cynic, I
also
cut
said
you off.
that he would really like to see Miles Morales brought into the live-action universe that he's a part of.
Oh no.
And
Stop your
that's
virtue
also
signaling, please.
it could be that, but it's also everything's aligning. You've got two coincidental multiverse arcs with two different Spider-Men, and one of them is currently really popular. And what the MCU really likes is bringing in new, diverse versions of its existing heroes. I can see it happening pretty quickly.
The tick boxes are
Yeah,
aligning.
Yeah, but
and,
it wouldn't make sense.
I was just gonna say, and what's his listen? The guy that plays his uncle, it made a cameo in the Spider-Verse movie.
Yeah,
so,
Donald Glover.
I mean,
Yeah, that was good.
Donald Glover is actually the reason why Miles Morales exists.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, like the creator of Miles Morales said that he saw an episode of Community where Donald Glover was in pajamas, Spider-Man pajamas, and decided to create Miles Morales. And that's why there's even that specific scene is even in the first Spider-Verse movie.
Oh, right on.
They show it on TV inside the cartoon, the live action version. It's pretty fun.
I think out of any whatever derivative or replacement character that could make this work, it would be Miles Morales. But they have got to give him his own trajectory and storyline. Like, I think the Spider-Verse is like they're doing it pretty well. But I really liked his uncle as the Prowler, but all the same, the Prowler is a Peter Parker villain originally, and so is the Spot from this movie. And it's like, okay, when are we going to give Miles his story?
¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
I don't know what that means.
¿Dónde está la biblioteca? Where's the library?
Oh,
classic Deadpool. Anyway.
But yeah, I don't know. I think if they want to integrate Miles Morales into the MCU, like Tom Holland's Peter Parker is way too young. They have to wait at least like 5, 6, 7 years if they want his Peter Parker to mentor Miles Morales.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't the voice actor, he wants to play?
Oh no, he's too old.
Yeah, he's
28.
too old. Yeah.
Now he is, yeah.
Who would you like to see as the villain for this fourth movie?
Kathleen Kennedy.
Kingpin. I would like a grounded street level Spider-Man movie and going back to basics. I mean, look at it. The trajectory of the last three movies was his origin story to get us to the Spider-Man we know and love. So why would you like Uninspired Reviewer was saying, you have to give some breathing room before you introduce Miles, because Spider-Man just essentially became Spider-Man in the MCU. Yep. So I would like some street level stuff. I think mixing it up with the Kingpin would be really cool.
There you go. Titan, Spidey, Daredevil versus Kingpin.
I just want Stiltman in there for like just one scene, please. He's so stupid, but I love him. I love Stiltman.
But you know, if we get Spidey and Daredevil, it'll be the Daredevil that was, you know, with She-Hulk. So,
right? Yeah.
I mean, if they still want to make $2 billion, a Spider-Man and Daredevil street movie would make $2 billion
for sure. I agree with that 100%.
I'm thinking Sony, Marvel, Disney. There's going to be some form of rights issue with that.
It made too much money for them not to want to stick it out. I mean, with the Spider-Man movies coming to Disney Plus in America now too, they have a long-term deal. So it's going to benefit both of them to continue this.
But it's weird because they have a lot of Spider-Man spin-offs. Like Sony has a lot of Spider-Man spin-offs planned. For example, they're doing a Spider-Man noir live action. I don't know how that's going to work, but. So I don't know if they'd want to keep the Spider-Man IP to themselves and be a bit greedy, because they have the Venom verse too, and they have Morbius. So.
And Kraven the Hunter too is coming up.
Yeah, they have Kraven too. So I don't know, man.
Sony's going to keep this forever.
100%.
Yeah.
Bishop Moore, they'll have Ben Parker as the bad guy, being a problematic white guy. Okay, shall we move on?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what, everybody? They're trying to. Disney are doing their level best to get Emmy nominations for Obi-Wan Kenobi. Everybody, can you believe it?
Outstanding shitology.
Every category.
Given Disney also put She-Hulk up for awards,
Oh,
I can
right.
believe it.
What a
And,
great.
But also-
Lando season 3.
And oh god, don't even. Yeah. It's taking me a day to get through an episode for the script at the moment. But it's in this country. I'm sure you have an American equivalent as well. We have something called the Advertising Standards Authority, and the Advertising Standards Authority exists to penalize companies which make demonstrably false claims in their adverts. And I'm thinking this might kind of qualify. Ewan McGregor dazzles as Obi-Wan Kenobi is A, an advert, and B, wildly dishonest. So maybe someone should sue.
I won't try.
I certainly won't. It was bad, wasn't it? Obi?
Horrendous.
It was horrible.
Horrible.
Here you go, folks. Joe Darkness. Yeah, it might win all the Razzies.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's the worst of them by far as well because of the amount of potential. Because it's so easy to see how this story could have been amazing. And this is what we got. It makes it worse than The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian is dumb as all fuckery. Obi-Wan Kenobi could have been good.
There you go.
And the character is beloved. That relationship is beloved. There's an awful lot of fondness for the prequels for all of their many issues. They still have this fond place in sort of people's meme memory. And lots of people would have loved to have seen this kind of story, you know, this crossover featuring these memories and these flashbacks, and you can bring back Anakin and you can show sort of how Obi-Wan is trying to adjust to life after.
Well, they had the
Fall of the Republic,
story,
and that
didn't
could
they?
have been
They had a
fantastic.
genuine story for a movie.
They
Yeah,
did.
It
They
was
did.
going to be Luke.
Mhm.
And then we all know what happened.
Oh yeah, but I mean, just swapping Leia for Luke wouldn't have made this any better. In fact, it would have made it considerably worse. So that's not really an issue to me. I don't really care. In fact, I prefer it that Luke isn't in it because the closer Obi-Wan gets to Luke, the more damage you're going to do to the original trilogy. They already risk it because they
Well-
have Reva running after him with a lightsaber, and he's never seen one of those before. Come episode 4.
This is different timeline stuff now.
Well, that would be nice. Yes.
Well, it's got to be, hasn't it?
No, I just think it's just being wrecked from behind, as it were. So same timeline, it's just becoming less and less sensible as it goes on. No, it's such a huge disappointment of a show, but quite fun to rib. So there is
Massively
that.
disappointing.
Yeah, it's really bad. Well, honestly, the only thing that Disney should actually put up for an Emmy should be Andor. And that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, firmly
I
agreed.
thought, according to Mega Geek, boring AF.
Yeah,
It is pretty boring.
It's not Star
Uh-huh.
Wars. Boring
Uh-huh.
AF.
yeah.
Mm.
Star Wars is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to have lasers and explosions and lightsabers
pew.
and
Yes.
fun. And they're supposed to
Yes.
go on adventures. Okay, simp for The Mandalorian more, because that's what it's giving you. If that's your standard for what Star Wars is, Mando's your perfect show. If you don't like Mando, maybe you value writing a bit more than you think you do, and maybe you should give Andor a different shot. Or a better shot, even.
MJuke84. Mr. Brown knows all about wrecking behinds. A few, perhaps. Nikki Relihan. It's shit.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, it's really bad.
And here you go, folks. 1 hour 30 later. Abject mediocrity. Hey, Uninspired is back.
Hey, Abject.
He is. Okay, so
To
are
give
we
the show
all?
its due, though, there were fun moments. None of them
Thank
were
you, my
good.
friend.
They were all terrible. But there were fun moments. Vader following Kenobi down to a planet and then saying, "Did you come to destroy me?" That was a good one. Shaky cam on distance cam shots. That was good. Reva, everything about Reva was
Speeder
fun.
shot things. Oh, that's true.
Wok. We gave us Wade, one of the iconic characters in Star Wars lore. So it had some really strong moments, and we had fun breaking it down on this channel.
The strongest moments we had from the entire series was in the chat. Mr. Brown Lights, rest in peace, Calculon.
True.
Yep.
True.
Oh, the gate! Who can forget the gate that he has
Ah,
to deactivate
yes.
instead of walking around?
Yeah.
That was really good.
Yeah.
Obi, just walk round it, mate.
Just walk
Yeah.
around it.
And I like all the Leia chase sequences where
Oh.
nobody can catch her because
Oh,
she's
yeah.
Everybody's
so
running on their knees.
I will
Right.
never let
Wait.
anyone live down the arguments they made in my comments section about like
Walk.
when the fire sprung up and Vader didn't walk around the fire or anything.
Or
And
put the
everyone
fire
was
out
like,
we saw him do 2
right,
seconds
or we
ago.
just saw him put the fire out 2 seconds ago, and everyone was like, well, it's because he loves the chase. Never ever let that go. That was the best cope I've ever heard.
Right.
He loves the chase.
He
And
loves
the
chase.
final
Oh,
scene as well, where
chase me.
he's talking with the Emperor and he's seething because Obi-Wan gets away and the Emperor says, I think maybe you care a bit too much about Obi-Wan, and Vader says, no, I'm totally over him. And that's it. There's like he's just the whole dialogue thing is just balked beyond all recognition. It's
think the
it's a
best-
hilarious show.
The best moment for me wasn't even on screen. It was the Ewan McGregor carvid. That was fantastic. that was acting.
Yep.
Yep.
I genuinely think everybody would have been on board with this if they'd have given us a non-KK story that was true to the original script or original source, original Star Wars.
Yeah, well, there is a book. I haven't read this
It
one, but there
would
is an Obi-Wan Kenobi book which covers this same time period, which they could have
Yeah.
adapted because I think it also came out during Disney's period of ownership, so they haven't burned it like the rest of the old EU. So they could have actually done that as well, and they didn't for unaccountable reasons.
They chose poorly, didn't they?
They chose poorly.
Okay, so let's move on. There was a little bit of politics on the next one. Do we want to see it or should we pass it?
Up to you. It's your stream.
Yeah.
Let's
Well,
do it. Let's just.
There'll only be you that knows it, Lord. So yes or no?
I don't know what it is. You're cock teasing. just get to the slide.
Jacinda
We'll find out.
Ardern.
Oh, do I know anything about her? Bits and pieces. I don't know. What's the story?
Nah, let's move on.
Okay then.
She's going to become a dame. Can you believe it?
Oh yeah.
Unbelievable.
New
Failing
Zealand should be a
upwards.
republic, but also I will happily be a dame of the Order of the British Empire. So that's all good.
Yeah, and then there's Holly Willy Booby.
Oh, the Philip Schofield stuff that no
Yeah.
Americans know anything about. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fun.
do you want to talk about that?
I don't mind. Do you want to get demonetized?
Okay, so who saw this? Episode 1.
I did.
Tucker
Yeah, I
Carlson
saw.
on the Twats.
Yeah. Yeah, good for him. Yeah, he's making it happen, even though he got ousted. And listen, I'm not like an overwhelmingly huge fan of Fox News, but I did think that Tucker Carlson, even though I didn't agree with 100% on everything that he said, I did think that he did bring some things to light that I found very interesting.
agree.
For one, he brought a story that takes place in my home state here in America, where a factory is being built, which is not too far away from me, which I had no idea was happening. And as soon as I was done watching his little report on it, I started researching it and making some calls, telling people I don't want this in my state. But yeah, I even though I don't, like I said, I don't agree 100% with him, but I did like some of the things that he brought to light, and good for him for saying I will not be silenced. I will make sure that my voice is heard, and I'm not sure if he's going to get sued for this, but I hope if he does, he wins, because I don't like the getting rid of him, because maybe they got rid of him because they didn't like what he was saying.
Cynic, did you watch episode 1?
No.
Okay, that went well. Uninspired?
Yeah, I saw parts of it, but I thought it was interesting. Talks about all the alien stuff and all the politics in America. I mean, I'm in France, so it's fine. But I like Matt said, I really appreciate that he brought some stuff to light that other news channels never talk about, and that's probably the reason why he got booted, anyways.
Apparently he's still employed. I think he's on gardening leave. Is that the technical term?
Well, yeah, he did mention aliens also, so that always gets me interested.
Here you go, folks. Tim, I like saying this. Hannah Bomb, we have aliens now. Well,
We do.
See, this is going to
illegal.
be the thing that makes Tucker's Twitter shows slightly irritating. Is that
Yeah.
he effectively the first one? I think is the first one where he was talking about the dam explosion in Ukraine as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Tucker
exactly.
Carlson is he's a very good speaker. He's very engaging. He can make everything sound like a conspiracy, even if he's just got all of the information from scrolling his own Twitter timeline, which is all the information you'll get from that
Well,
episode.
it's true, isn't it?
You
It's
can
online.
find on your Twitter timeline.
Yeah, it's true. All
He
of it's
presents
true.
the thing they don't want you to know is that it was the Ukrainians and not the Russians who blew up the dams. What are your sources for that?
You're being controlled.
That
almost sounded like
it's
him,
rumored.
too.
I know he just has this way of speaking.
I
I
hate
think
it
he's really
so
engaging.
much.
I don't really watch him. I never really have watched him.
He
I
is
think his
engaging,
problem will
yeah.
be on Twitter that he does not have the same research team as he had on Fox, and he's not held to the same. I know it's laughable to talk about Fox and journalistic standards in the same sentence, but nevertheless, I will. He doesn't have the same journalistic standards in play when he's on his own as he does at Fox, and that will allow him to go into slightly wilder directions, which will be really popular, but maybe less usefully informative and less investigative. The US government isn't telling you about aliens is a story that every major news outlet already have been running, and it's unsubstantiated. It's unnamed quotes from a couple of sources who haven't worked in the government for God knows how long, and it's the same story we've had off and on since the 1960s. But Tucker presents it as this new revelation of a conspiracy unraveled. It's really not, but he's very good at making it sound as though it is.
Yeah, I thought he was actually talking about the alien incident that they released like a few days ago that happened in like Las Vegas or something like that. I don't know, like I'm someone who believes in aliens, so if someone says, "Oh yeah, we have aliens," I'll just be like, "Yeah, I knew it." So.
Illegal. For the Brits, Ant and Dec, they found an alien, didn't they?
I have no idea.
Stream killer. That's a stream killer. I killed the stream, everybody. Sorry. I will say, God is my witness. I sent Tucker when he'd lost his job. I sent Tucker Carlson a DM and said, "If you want something to do, I'll give you a job." I didn't hear anything back. I swear to God, I sent him a DM.
You should DM him and be like, "Come on our live stream. We'll talk about the musings of the week."
Demonetized.
We'll talk about your show.
Yeah,
He'll come on and say, they want you to believe that Star Wars has never been in better shape. But here's the thing. Here's what no one's telling you. There's a woman behind the scenes. She's called
KK.
Kathleen Kennedy. And she's actually ruining the franchise, and they're simply not talking about it. And yeah, he has a
Yeah,
really
those
broken
inflections
That was
in his
really
voice
good.
drives me fucking crazy.
That was really good.
What they don't want you to know is that the gays are at the door with the AR-15s. Why would America
Careful.
be like this?
Well, you live there. Anyway, let's move on.
Why?
This was the big tech news this week. Everybody see this?
A load
Yeah.
of bollocks.
No, it's Apple Vision Pro.
Didn't Google do the same thing like a couple years back with
This
those
is
Google
different.
glasses?
Facebook.
Everyone's been trying to do this for years, honestly. They just give you overpriced garbage.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
interested in this at all.
This
Did it-
is unfortunately, I think this is going to be the game changer. I think this is the one that
Matrix,
everyone's
everybody.
waiting for. Well, because it's the first
Plug
one to
yourself
really
in.
actually integrate real life with the virtual world. I think
True.
that is the difference, and that is what was missing. And of course, Apple's the one to do it. I think this is the game changer. Like I can see it 20 years from now, like it'll just be a contact lens you put in your eye, and everyone's interfaced all the time.
Yeah, that's the game-changing moment.
I don't know. I think it's like a cool concept, but I still think we're too early with our technology to execute it. Plus, I don't trust Apple because, I mean, who the hell still sells phones without a 3.5 millimeter audio jack? That's just like a crime, honestly.
Who still uses wired headphones?
Me? Everybody should.
Jesus, I haven't used a wired headphone in like 5-6 years.
No,
Oh
because
my
they got rid of the
God.
headphone jack, so you can't.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good point. They did-
Exactly.
And those buds, I don't know about anybody else, but they fall out of my ear like all the time. It's annoying.
Earbuds. Lord, are you available? I can't even go anywhere near this.
I can, from Gui Ramos. Shuhei Yoshida once said, society, I don't even know if I got that right, but we'll run with it. Once said, society still needs a few decades to fully embrace VR. I don't know when he said that, because people have been saying that for a few decades at this point. can you still get those VR headset things in like arcades or bowling alleys? I remember
so, yeah.
playing those a couple of times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
It
think
kept giving people motion sickness. But if anyone's going to be able to do it, it probably will be Apple. I mean, that's Apple's great experience is in turning ordinary technology that everyone else has made but is quite clunky and actually making it very, very user friendly and marketable, and then eventually bringing the price a little way down. So if anyone's going to do it, it probably will be them. But what need is it really solving, and how comfortable is it going to be, and is it going to be worth
Programming
you
everybody.
carrying
Well,
around a set of glasses which
programming.
are really expensive to give you information that you can just get in front of you
Yeah.
in a different
Their
Moon
context?
made
their information.
the YouTube channel Moon made 2 very good YouTube
Fantastic
videos about
videos.
this.
I was about to say, yes.
But all the same, like this is just the first step, and this is 100% where it's going, because if you can just have access to absolutely everything in a contact lens in 20 years, you're going to want to because it's already started here. Like the point of VR, being abrasive to people was like, well, you're locked in and you can't, like, you're not part of whatever room you're in. If you're sitting with friends, like it's just a solo experience. With this, you can actually like see the other person and have a chat. Like it's supposed to integrate the virtual world with the real one, and I think that's the game-changing element here.
Oh, yeah, to be sure. I mean, as it moves toward augmented reality as opposed to virtual reality, then it becomes less intrusive and less obtrusive, because it's not like, this is the weird thing about Mark Zuckerberg pursuing Meta, and like you're actually trying to make people
plug in, like
project
Wall-E.
plug in to begin with, and then project their own consciousness into a second body to do the same things as they're doing without that cognitive leap in the real world all the time,
without any legs too.
without any legs, and it looks like freaking awful. I'm pretty sure that what's the home screen on the Nintendo Wii looked better and had roughly the same technology.
Yeah.
Here you go,
But
folks.
if Apple goes for AR, then yeah, I mean, you can see there's infinite possibilities with that kind of thing, but it is about the delivery mechanism, and are glasses going to be the intermediary step between that and say contact lenses or some other medium?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's got to be glasses next after a headset like this. Like it's fucking ridiculous looking.
Yeah, that's
What if
true.
you've got bad eyesight? Would you still be able to see what's going on?
Well, they'll probably like integrate something where they can fix your eyesight with it. Maybe it'll be like a specific prescription, or maybe they'll change the lens or something to accommodate. Probably.
It is an impressive piece of kit.
It's really amazing.
Yeah, it's actually really impressive when you look at the specs and all of that.
$4,000.
Yeah.
Give or take a few quid.
Yeah, but the thing is, if Apple can solve, like, they'll create a problem that you didn't know you had, and they'll solve it, and money doesn't matter, because people used to complain, like, it's the company that's worth more than any company in the world, and their MacBooks are insanely overpriced. Their phones are insanely overpriced. Everything that they do is crazy overpriced. And look what they do. Like when someone goes to the store, or it goes to the Verizon, and they want to get a phone, it's integrated into their monthly cost, and they don't even think about it. And that's what's going to happen with this stuff in another 10 years. Like, you won't go get a phone, you'll go get this with your monthly payment, and you won't even think about it. Like, yes, it'll cost you $4,000 or $5,000, but you don't know that you're paying $40 a month for 6 years.
And that's at first as well. All emergent technology is always incredibly expensive until it becomes, producible at scale, and it's cheaper to produce, and they understand the process is better, and they can simplify the internals, and it will bring the price down after a time. Then there's sort of the question as to, well, what do we really need AR for that we don't already have a device for, which doesn't intrude in the same way as AR would? So let's say, I'm trying to, Google Glass made a big deal of the fact that you could look at something and Google would automatically give you information about the thing you're looking at. How do you control that? How do you turn that on and off with glasses, for example? How does that really work? Do you really need the AR to recreate the function of a phone in a different medium? And then there's all the dystopian possibilities that come about at the end of that. In 20 years' time, is everyone going to have an Instagram filter and no one actually knows who anybody looks like, because everyone's looking at each other through glasses?
Yeah.
And you can go in deep and dark directions with this stuff.
Again, Moon's videos that are very excellent. They go into the dystopian portion of this.
Yeah, guys, Movie Cynic is correct. Check out the Moon channel. Moon. He did a couple of vids. Really good. Really good.
Moon has a lot of great great
Yeah,
videos in
does,
general.
he
he's
does.
quite good. Yeah.
Franco Walker, but these headsets only have 2 hours battery life. Just wait till you are the battery, like in the Matrix. Matrix
Yeah.
is on its way.
But
Right on.
the big problem I have with these glasses is that, well, what's the use of it? Because I watched the entire 9-minute presentation video, and what I took from that is just the fact that, oh yeah, you can have this massive screen in front of you. The size you can have this massive screen in front of you. That's it. That's what they kept repeating at the end of every section. So I think that today everything that this does you can just do on your computer. So I mean, people wouldn't really, or on your phone. On your phone, you have your phone on you all the time. I mean, you have to plug this to your phone. So
There you go, folks.
Yeah.
This is a thinking man's joke. Alex Talon in the chat. Rest in peace, Calcu Jobs.
I think they're selling the experience, which from everyone that I've heard who did get to test it out,
Mind
it's
blown.
literally like magic.
Yeah.
And
Ma-
so they'll sell
magic
the
was
experience
yeah.
while they're working on integrating it into things and extending battery life, making it so this is the thing you have instead of your phone and laptop. You do everything through this thing. Like this is, there's nowhere else this is going to go but here, in my opinion.
There is, of course, the delaying aspect of that, which is that it will take quite a while for other
like
people
15,
to
20
provide
years.
actual content you can use with these kinds of things. So you've got the problems of the technological development, which is all Apple's basis. Then you have the problem of software development, which Apple can do a certain amount of in-house. But generally speaking, so if you're talking about the latest development in computer graphics cards, for example, you can buy a really, really expensive, ultra high-spec graphics card. But the problem is, no one at the moment is actually making anything that you need that graphics card for. It's an immense technological achievement, but it's very expensive because no one really needs to buy it, because no major developer is only marketing new software for the uppermost ends of the audience. So it takes time on the other side, development side, as well as the technology side.
To make this happen, I heard that Apple bought some of the companies who were developing this technology. So they just bought them and brought it all in-house. Apparently, they've been doing this 2016. They've been developing this.
Yeah, and
so 7 years down the line.
This is the kind of reaction that the iPhone got. Like, we already have things that can do this. Why do we need it in here? And now it's literally everyone has one. And it just is what it is. I'm not saying that I actually would prefer this not to happen, because I don't like where society can go. I'm just saying, as a matter of fact, I think it is where society's going to go.
Yeah. Well, I think one thing that I did like that they put when they had the man that was in the presentation, when he was watching his kids and he was like creating that memory or whatnot, and then he's like, you can redo this now. Well, the one thing that I liked about it, and you mentioned context, is I always like have these times with my kids where I'm like, man, I wish I would have recorded that on my phone. And I think that it's the only thing that interests me in terms of like creating a memory that I can capture right off the bat. However, I'm not going to
see Minority Report.
I have. That's exactly what I was going to say.
It's going to be like that. Can you imagine? Like, I'm not saying that it's good, but imagine how many people are going to have 3D videos where they can essentially interact with people who have died, exes that they miss, and they're going to wallow in their fucking misery doing this stuff, but they'll buy it so they can do it.
Exactly. And hell, you might be walking through the street one day, just minding your own business, and you accidentally step on a plate, and then a memory store just displays in That's also hilarious.
And everyone sees your favorite memory, right? Plowing your ex-wife.
Yep.
No, it's never good. Never bet against any of this kind of stuff. Did Paul Krugman, the economist, once say that he thought the internet would have the same impact on the economy as a fax machine? I'm pretty sure that's something he said. And he's got a Nobel Prize, so it says a lot about the state of economics. But don't bet against this stuff. But it will be a while before it's properly user friendly. And the other thing with AR, because we were talking about what happens if you're, say, visually impaired, can you use it? Well, if you're not sufficiently integrating actual reality and depth of field vision, if you don't wear glasses before you use this thing, you will need them afterwards, because it will fuck your eyes up. It's so long looking at something that's right in front of your cornea, and that's not good in the long run.
Yeah, my parents always told me when I was growing up, sit far away from the TV. Well, now TV is right in front of our eyes. So
yeah.
Okay, so I kind of would like the technology, but I think, I don't know, is it a good idea for the human race to be just
No.
plugged in? It's
No.
not, is it?
Uh-uh.
Dopamine hit city, everybody.
Mhm.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. The
And
Matrix.
plus, you'll have
is
pop-up ads
around.
right in front of your face.
Yeah.
Right.
I
I haven't
Oh,
heard
God.
excitement for this. Well, I wouldn't say excitement, but how people are talking about this as such a revolutionary device. I haven't heard this since the iPhone. Like they've released iPad, they've released a watch, and all this stuff, and blah blah blah, and everyone's just like, yeah. And it's this one that kind of has that same spark about it. I'm like, oh no, here we go. It's gonna happen.
Well,
Anyway.
brace yourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's move on. Anybody see this?
Yeah.
Whatever has been getting some heat this week.
Wow, the Whatever podcast getting heat? No way.
Yeah, they've been getting some heat.
Weird.
So New York Post, making women look dumb is a disturbing new podcast trend.
Maybe they just bring on dumb women. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
maybe this is one of the most popular podcasts in the world. All these women have, whoops, I clicked that. All these women have access to check out the show. Everyone knows what this podcast is, and they choose to go on and look like idiots. And it's his fault.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not his fault at all.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. Just do your research before going there. At least just know what the podcast is. Just don't arrive and say,
I've never
yeah, I
heard
did
one
know."
None of these women can read and do research.
I've never heard one
Jeez.
guest on this show be like, oh, thanks for the invite. I've never heard of this show.
Yeah, they probably just get paid and leave. That's it.
Occasionally, there is a lady person who takes part who you can tell they're brainy as fook.
Who, Pearl?
Yeah, and oh no, not Pearl. But they go just as viral as the stupid women.
Yeah.
So it's not really. I don't know. I don't know why it's so hard to hold people accountable for their own actions, but it is what it is, I guess.
They just go on there for their 15 minutes, don't they?
Well, yeah, because a lot of them have OnlyFans, and they're like,
Yes.
yes, you
Yes.
can go, you can talk. People in the chat will talk shit about me, but they'll also go on my OnlyFans. Is probably their
And
mindset.
that's when you need the Apple Provision.
Yes.
But it's what makes these skits and skits like it a little bit satirical and subversive, which is that there is an immense privilege to being an attractive woman on the internet, and it tends to select against you having a brain. So if you're a random guy on YouTube and you're talking, you have to be interesting in different ways because no one's looking at you for you. Whereas if you're trying to make it big online as a woman, you need big tits and makeup. And you will immediately have an immense premium.
Do
I
well.
agree.
Or
not
you can
that
just
women
be
are-
Oh,
sorry.
sorry, go ahead.
Talking over each other.
It's not that women are like generally speaking less intelligent than men. That's obviously not true. But the point that's being made is that the kind of woman who is likely to go on a podcast like this, who is likely to be successful online in their own right, tends to be not particularly intelligent because the internet is not selecting for female intelligence, which is an interesting social trend.
I saw a cartoon animation about basically the reaction to the show. It was all in good fun too, but it was basically like this woman said something and the host and his guests and the audience members just kept going, "This stupid bitch." And that's basically it. It's right. It's
Here you go, folks. Fiona M., that Star Wars girl. I rest my case.
That's true.
Well done, Fiona. I
Yeah.
do love you.
She doesn't like Andor either. I did like it's I mean it's sort of like who was that kid who disrupted the video game awards?
Kanye West.
Kanye West. But he went on a show with a load of attractive women, and he basically did the same thing. So name 10 books. And then I was like, well, The Hunger Games 1, The Hunger Games 2. It's like, no, different books. And this 14-year-old kid who is obviously a troll, but he's doing the same thing, kind of exposing this internet propensity to select for looks over intelligence for women.
Oh man, isn't the Whatever podcast the ones that brought on Jabba the Hutt?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gorlock the Destroyer.
Yeah, I listen to this podcast all the time. I think it's
Listen,
fantastic. Listen.
Listen.
Yeah.
It's like watching trash TV. Brittany watches more of the clips from the show than I do.
Oh, I watched
I
the
watch
whole
a lot.
thing.
She's
I watched
fascinated by
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, like
It's so fun.
yeah, it's so fun, especially when like you said, they just say dumb stuff, and you're like,
they're
you're
just
just
so
like, what?
vacuous. That's
Yeah,
the problem.
like-
They're all
like-
vacuous.
Yeah, and I'm just piggybacking on what you guys said. They don't do their research on stuff, and then like they don't watch an episode of this show because it's like, yo, honey, he's bringing you on to embarrass you
Oh,
because
that's-
you're obviously stupid. So you need just read a couple things, watch a couple of shows. They're pretty funny, and you won't do so bad. But I mean, sometimes they just say the dumbest stuff, and you're just like, oh, I like.
Is this the future of reality TV?
Yeah, you just maybe nature should have weeded you out a couple years ago.
I also think he just brings them on so he can smash some of them. But that's
Yeah.
That's me.
100%. Yep.
yeah.
Right on. Yeah, I would.
I
Some of them are hot.
I
They're
think
not
the
tens though.
The disturbing thing is,
This person doesn't have a girlfriend.
the disturbing thing is this the future of? Well, it's basically the young people, and they just don't know anything. They're just so
Yeah, I actually think it's a good reflection of Gen Z.
yeah,
Right.
More than
Yeah.
just women in general.
just
I agree.
stupid. They just don't. They're just unaware of anything really, other than what's going on in their own little world.
There's a
Wait,
few
what
things
age
like
range
this
is
podcast
Gen
which
Z?
are not gender specific and where they do just ask questions of young people generally as opposed to just dumb girls. And yeah, I mean, the level of stupidity
Yeah, I've seen
is
some of them. Yeah.
really quite shocking. It's like, what country is France in?
Right. Right.
I also like he brings on a ton of people for every episode, and it's like one or two people will go viral with multiple clips because that person is stupid. Meanwhile,
Thick as
80%
fuck.
of people there don't actually say anything stupid.
That's true.
Right on. Yeah.
Bear with me. Here we go. Chat moved up. Here you go. Black lives or black votes. Gen Z is a lost generation. They are.
Wait,
don't
what?
like-
Am I Gen Z?
Yes.
Uh,
They
Really?
Just, they
How
just,
old are you?
21.
You
Yeah, I
are
think
totally
we are.
Gen Z, bro.
Oh, hell
the
no.
the stupid
Oh, hell
and,
no.
the stupid and ugly ones just hit out at everybody else,
Yeah, I agree.
and that's a tragedy.
There
And
is
I
that, but
mean-
you also Peter Boghossian, I can't pronounce his name. Boghosian, I think is this one of the guys who did the so-called squared hook. Does a more sort of highbrow version of this, where he goes around university campuses asking university students questions about sort of received opinions, so like opinions on critical race theory, racial divides in America, social justice, and examining what they actually think about the things that they say, because these university kids they tend to be quite eloquent. They're good speakers. But he will ask them things, basic factual questions which underpin the beliefs that they espouse, and they don't know them either. So even the supposed upper crust of Gen Z youth and the top American universities they're not really that much more intelligent than the dumb fuck girls you see on the screen in front of you there. They
No, I
just
agree.
speak better. They have a larger vocabulary, and they've learned to repeat the propagandistic lines given to them oftentimes by their lecturers, and if not by their
Spoon-fed,
lecturers, then
yeah.
by people like Vorsh or Hassan Piker. They're very good at repeating other people's dumb arguments, but they are still dumb.
Here you go, folks. Mr. Brown Lines, that's definitely me. The Whatever Podcasts. It's on YouTube too.
That's where I watch it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Some of the people, as I said, when a brain box comes on, it's a pleasure to watch. Rest of the time, it's just car crash.
Yeah, and it's also funny that she strategically leaves out that he has men on too, and they say
True.
some really, really stupid shit.
They do.
Yeah.
They say some stuff that I absolutely cannot believe is coming out of a man's mouth. So I don't know. It sounds like this person is just very upset.
Okay, let's move on. Check it out, everybody. Michael Sheen, who I do like, it's this old chestnut again, isn't it? Demands only Welsh actors play Welsh characters.
But he plays English characters in the majority of things he does. He plays a vampire in Twilight.
Yeah.
You know what it is then, don't you?
He needs
Sheer
money.
Double fucking standards. Yeah.
standards. Get in the bin, Michael.
He needs a job.
He's
Well,
a
I
good
think-
character actor. It's just a shame that he opens his mouth when people haven't written lines for him.
Is he the only Welsh actor other than Anthony Hopkins? So basically everything for him.
Yeah, there's only 2 Welsh actors in the world. Yeah.
So that's his logic, isn't it? So
Yeah.
he gets all the work. It is sheer double standards, though, isn't it?
Oh, it is.
When are they going to get, as I said, when are they going to get blue aliens to play the Avatar aliens? Or
Any day now.
Yeah, very soon, probably. Well, we
I
have to
just
hope
don't-
that they're blue.
I just don't understand the logic. Isn't the whole point of being an actor is that you act?
Yeah.
Or is that me?
Is that you can embody another person. There you go. Embody a character. Be someone who you are not. But I don't know.
Movie opinion? If any?
Nope, none. Moving on.
Okay. Stream killer, everybody. Stream killer. Bishop Moore, yeah. Welsh sheep, yeah. Okay, let's move on. Michael killed it, everybody. Let's move on.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Zack,
Go ahead.
I didn't say anything. Go on.
No, I thought
Listen.
you were gonna.
Listen.
I thought you were just gonna read out the tweet and everything. The
Do you want to? Yeah, go on, Matty.
Okay,
Go
I
on,
will.
read
I
it.
will.
Listen.
Zack Snyder claims non-binary character brings heart to upcoming Netflix film series Rebel Moon. Okay, well, good for him.
Sure.
It's still gonna. It's not gonna be that great. It's gonna be like a bunch of nonsense just thrown together with some action sequences.
It's Zack Snyder.
Yeah, it's not gonna be. It's not gonna be that. I mean, it might be visually pleasing at some points in time, but it's not gonna be that. It's not gonna be good story wise for sure.
You know, Zack Snyder's. In my personal opinion, Zack Snyder's most competent film was his first movie, and that one was actually written
The
by
Dawn
James
of the
Gunn.
Dead.
Yeah,
Was it the Dawn of the
Yep.
Dead one?
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. I actually that's like my favorite one that he's ever done.
it's a really good movie. I rewatched it like I think it was a month and a half ago. It really stands up well, holds up
Yeah.
well actually.
Yeah. I mean, and then I like his Watchmen, except for the end. I thought it
Never
was
seen it.
Yeah,
yeah, that's like my favorite comic book. So I really I was excited for that movie, but he kind of let me down a little bit. But
I fell asleep.
yeah. I mean, I realized that it was just not. He just copied the comic book way too much.
300, everybody.
That's a good one too.
Yeah, 300 is cool.
I enjoy 300.
Yeah, it's not gonna be. This is not gonna be good though. Have you guys seen the stuff that he's put out for it? I'm all like, this looks like shit. I'm like,
No, I know. I
Wow,
heard
what a
it-
shocker.
I'm like, I don't even like your spaceships. Your spaceships look dumb. I was like, I'm not interested. But at the same time, I'll watch it for sure.
Yeah, he said it's an epic space opera. So I
Yeah,
don't know.
this is what I heard from Matt Nizak. Isn't Rebel Moon supposed to be a Star Wars ripoff? Yeah, I heard that it was this generation's Star Wars, whatever that means.
Is this a
Okay.
Is this a show or is
Shit,
this
in
a?
other
I thought it
words.
was. It says series, but is this a movie or I thought this was a?
I think it's like a trilogy or something.
Oh,
probably.
okay. That makes sense. Because I was gonna say if this is a show, I don't want to watch a show.
What
I'll
happened
watch-
to his Army of the Dead movies? What happened to those?
That's a great question because that first one was not that great. Like,
They made 2.
yeah, I don't know. I'm not interested in any more of those.
Yeah, I mean there's a big problem with Netflix overspending. I mean they give Ryan Johnson how many movie deals now? Zack Snyder too.
Yeah, why are they giving these shitty directors like these deals? Like,
Because they have an idiotic cult following that will guarantee at least like 500,000 people watching and go, he's fucking brilliant. He's genius.
You don't
You wouldn't get it.
That's so funny because it's so true. It's so true.
You know, it's like some people will try and defend Sucker Punch and tell you that it's a genius movie.
Yeah, I didn't get that movie at all.
Cynic, best Snyder film.
Dawn of the Dead,
Right.
for sure. Yeah.
Worst. All of them.
It's all in
Other
the
than that.
vacuum, right? Like they all suck
DC,
of an
there you
equal
go.
amount. Probably Batman versus Superman.
Which we're going to review at some point.
Ultimate Edition.
Are we? We're streaming on this tomorrow, aren't we?
Yeah, but I have to see. So I got an early showing of The Flash so that I can get a review out before everybody else.
How did you
Nice.
do
So I'm
that?
only
Ooh.
in here in Nashville. They have one showing, and it's like 4 days early, and I snagged a ticket to it. So,
Oh, nice.
so I get to see it
Lucky.
tomorrow night and in IMAX.
Nice.
But so I'll only be on that stream for an hour, but it's basically just going to be me trolling that one guy who's defending it. Like, can you explain this to me? I don't get it.
In the UK, what date, like on what day of the week do movies release? On Fridays?
It's not uniform, but the next several are all releasing on Fridays. Yeah, which is
Oh,
really
okay.
annoying when you do a live stream on Monday and you want to have a video to premiere into it, because that gives me 2 days to try and hammer a Flash review together.
Move to France. Here, it's every Wednesday that they release movies.
Oh, yeah, that is better.
Yeah.
We've got some bots in.
See that?
There we
Bye,
go.
bot. Bye, buddy.
I'm jealous that you're going to watch the Flash early.
Me too. I'm jealous.
And tomorrow, well, I'll let you know my emotions on it, but I won't tell you what happens.
No, give us all the spoilers in the private chat. That's
Yeah.
You can spoil it for me. I want all the spoilers. I have zero problems with spoilers, like at all.
Can you secretly video the film and send it to me? So I don't
I
have to go to the
can
cinema?
actually. I can sit there. I'll bring a battery charger and just record the whole thing in 4K.
Mods, could you take care of Mr. Burgles?
Man, Mr. Burgles is legit.
Yeah. Is it a bot farm?
Possibly.
Whoa.
Yeah. Should probably just leave
Back
him.
in a second.
Yeah, look, he's
Leave
back.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's a bot farm. Must be.
Nice job, Mr. Burgles. You bitch.
Well, this is why you give literally everybody a wrench. So there's really,
Yeah,
really no
come on,
excuse for him to
wrenches.
keep coming back.
Start earning your fucking wrenches.
What the?
Burgles always win. It's Apion, dude, it's serious.
Go on, mods. Sort him out. Okay.
So back on topic, who is this supposed non-binary character in this
No idea,
thing
don't
that I've never
care.
heard of?
Don't care. No idea. Would you be able to read this chat, please, Lord? I can't pronounce that.
I can, from Hephaestus Rising for 550 Canadian Californian communist dollars. If space opera is what you're looking for, look no further than Ian M. Banks' Surface Detail or consider Phlebas. I think that's pronounced. Or Plebus? I think it's Phlebas. Yeah, I've not read either, but I will take a look.
Do you know, I've never seen a bot or a spammer like that.
Wow.
Impressive.
Yes,
moves.
That's got to be software driven, hasn't it? Somewhere.
Oh yeah, someone really fucking hates.
It's a
you,
planned
buddy.
attack.
That's a trap.
Okay, shall we move on? Sorry,
Yes.
chats. Mr. Burgles has been a pain in the ass. So, mods, you're gonna have to sort it, please. Should we move on?
Yep.
Anybody see this? Speaking of
Yeah,
Flash,
I
My-
did.
Michael
Shannon.
Shannon,
This is
Shannon.
hilarious.
Yep.
just basically saying it's not proper acting; it's just playing with action figures, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you forgot to leave out the part where he said Man of Steel was an in-depth character study.
Yeah, it kind of says that. Yeah, it says. I don't even care. I really felt like Man of Steel was actually pretty sophisticated story.
We just don't understand.
I will have to say though, I like Michael Shannon, and I did think he did a good job. Yeah, it's not the best movie, but I feel like he did a good. I liked him as Zod personally, and I do like his armor there. It's very, except for those stupid helmets, they're so stupid. But yeah, that's all
I
I
will
got.
find him.
I will find him.
Massively disappointed with Man of Steel.
Yeah, but he keeps taking the check. So I mean, you know, it may be like playing with action figures, but he's getting paid for it.
Yeah, it's true. But and you know, Man of Steel is it's fine. I mean, it's bad, but But
parts.
I enjoyed because of Hans Zimmer's score. That's it.
I would tell you right now though, if I was him, I'd play Zod as long as I could. Ride that money train to the bank.
True.
As we know, Cavill was great. I liked all the kind of background stuff, the family stuff. It was flawed, but
Right on.
I don't think they should have killed Zod, to be fair.
Yeah, yeah. The only thing I think, like, this is a thing, and I get crap for this because I get told I'm defending the movie. But my whole thing about that is like, if he didn't kill Zod, where were they gonna put him? I mean, he's got superpowers, so it's not like they can just throw him in a regular jail cell. So, that's the only thing I have that I'm just like, I don't know what they would have done with him if he would have survived.
Cynic, anything good about Man of Steel?
No. It's fucking garbage. A bad movie.
Okay. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, folks. I think I'm going to end the stream early because.
Oh no, because that means he wins.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah,
it's up to you, but I personally would stubbornly carry on.
Okay, I'm going to throw it out to the chat. Do you want to carry on because it's really fucking annoying me?
Just
And
don't
if it's
look at
annoying
it.
me, I know it's annoying you. So, guys, do you want to carry on, persevere? Because it's kind of knocking the wind out
Bruh,
of
he's
the-
literally trolling you. Don't let some fucking douche win.
At least he changed his comment.
I mean, I've just been reporting him since.
Right. Okay.
Way easier.
I've generally never seen.
It's probably Zack Snyder himself. This won't bring your daughter back, bro.
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
What?
Too early, mate. Okay, let's persevere then. Yeah, show must go on.
yes.
I don't know if he did this last week because I'm old. I can't remember. But Flash currently has 73% on Rotten Tomatoes. Or is it tomatoes?
It's tomatoes.
It's tomatoes.
Yeah.
It's tomatoes. You're all wrong.
Yeah, it's tomatoes.
I mean, are we though? I think it's tomatoes.
I just say tomat. There you go.
Yes.
I was going to say, here we go. Joe Darkness. He must have 100 accounts. Does that mean I get the watched?
Yes.
Theoretically, yeah, maybe it's boosting your algo. But you'll lose more viewers the more you keep talking about him. So on the Flash,
Okay.
is there anything really to say? So like critics don't hate it? Okay.
Yeah, and I think it'll be fine. I mean, like, listen, if you,
here.
I don't think it. From what it sounds like, if you, I mean, I have seen some people that absolutely hate it, but I just go, it can't be an absolutely train wreck of a movie. But I mean, if you don't love it, I get it. I feel like most people would just be like, it's okay, you know. But yeah, and 73 it's still fresh, yeah.
Here you go. Bridget Moore, Mr. Brown forced me off to go see it next week. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to see this movie. I'm excited.
Cynic, looking forward to your preview.
I was really hoping it was as good as everyone was saying it was gonna be, but you should never believe the hype. I don't know why I feed into these things sometimes. I think it's just like I want it to be good, but I will never go into a movie theater and lie to myself. All this is telling me is that it's just not as good as everyone was making it out to be, and it's just gonna be fine, and that's fine. That's fine.
Lord, are you going to go see this in the theatre or are you going to India?
No, probably because it takes a while. It takes a few days for things to make their way over to India, and I want to go to this as quickly as possible. So, yes, I shall be in the cinema at the front with a table and a notepad, and largely disinvested in the actual thing because I really don't care about the Flash, and I'm not a DC person, but needs must.
It's Wednesday, isn't it, for the UK?
Is it? I thought it was Friday.
I think it's out on Wednesday.
Oh, well, that's better. That gives me more time.
Yeah, I was considering going Wednesday.
On the
Uninspired?
other hand, it gives me less time to work on the Mando video, so swings and roundabouts, but Yeah.
Uninspired, you going to go see it?
Sure. I might take a trip to India. I don't know. I'm not sure yet. It depends on what I have to do this weekend. But yeah, normally, well, since I have to do a review on it, I'll probably go see it. But I'm trying to make some time because I'm still not done with my Spider-Verse video. So I hope I can finish that in a few days. And I want to take the time to watch all the Keaton movies and stuff because I haven't seen them since I was a kid.
Wow.
Yeah, I grew up on Batman and Robin, so yeah.
Sorry.
You go, folks. You go, Iceman, I'll watch it in India.
Yeah, I think so too.
Then
But
we've got super chats. Hooligan S3 for $20. Thank you, my friend.
Hooligans.
Don't let the trolls win. Keep bogged and carry on. We'll try.
It's a good slogan.
Keep bogged.
Yeah. I would probably think that YouTube may have a problem if one user can do that to a stream. But anyway, so as I said, I'm looking forward to this.
Me too.
It's going to be difficult separating the knobhead from the artist and character and all that stuff, but we'll do our best.
You can do it.
You can do it.
I don't know, because if I understand it, there are two Flashes in the film. He's playing both of them, so maybe it's actually a really carefully done artistic depiction of his own mental crisis. Sorry, their own mental crisis, because they're multiple people.
They, yes. What are... He is a they, them, so if there's two of them, what is it? What's
It's
the
still they,
pronouns?
them. It's the great thing about this. The
Theys,
collective pronoun.
they, them. I'm confused. Anyway, let's move on. Speaking of, you can do it. I think this is an old story, but it popped up again on the feed. Arnold Schwarzenegger says he suggested the change. I'll be back to I will be back in the Terminator because he thought it sounded more machine-like. James Cameron responded with, "Are you the writer? Don't tell me how to write."
James Cameron should have said, "Talk to the hand."
Talk to the hand.
He's not entirely wrong. I think I'll Be Back does work better, and obviously the Terminator's point is it's supposed to be able to it can do basic infiltration, so contractions like that are, I suppose, okay. But I remember that being one of the things when Hayden Christensen pops up and plays Vader in the Kenobi show. Vader doesn't use contractions like "I'll." I think he always says "I will" until it's Anakin again, and the mask gets broken, and then Hayden Christensen forgets Vader's own manner of speaking.
Data in TNG couldn't do it either.
No, and I kind of I'm torn on that one. I think in I'll Be Back works in the Terminator's case just because of what the Terminator is and what it's supposed to be capable of. But technically, I Will Be Back is more robotic. He's right.
And with the Austrian German twang, sounds even better.
I'll be back. Get to the chopper. Honestly, Arnold Schwarzenegger is like the easiest person to impersonate, especially with Predator and Terminator.
Right.
Can you do some?
Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper.
I mean, I can do. Everyone can do Total Recall.
It's not a tumor.
You are a girly man.
Here you go, folks. Franco Walker, Mr. Brown Line says me, I accidentally got rid of Atom Greg. Please bring it back.
Oh, man.
Oh, no. Friendly fire. It's okay. Much must be risked in war.
Black lives or black votes. Get to that chopper.
Get to the chopper.
Yeah, you're right. He is easy to quote.
Oh, fuck. It's too good.
And on that, let's move on. Speaking of...
piss off.
Oh, did it? See, I still haven't watched this movie.
Avatar, The Way of Water just got added to Disney Plus this week. Great movie.
But it's been out on digital for a while, but just not on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I haven't seen it still. I have no desire.
I think that's why because my views have just jumped up again for this video. So that's usually the way I know it's gone onto Disney Plus. I don't actually see it on Disney Plus. It's just I notice it in the back end at YouTube. So, oh, that's on a weird upward trajectory. I wonder if Disney's cashed in again. Yes, it has.
You did not like this movie, did you?
No, I didn't. No, complete long ass soulless waste of time.
It wasn't brilliant, but
It
I
was
still
too
enjoyed
long.
it.
Way too long for what it was.
Cynic?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Not your thing, this was it either.
No. It's funny how things work, isn't it? Because
Especially
when I first
being
released
blue as well.
I know. I first released my review, which was quite negative when it just came out, and everyone was very upset with me. And then as it went along, the video got way more views and went way up because it's almost like people are like, yeah, you know what? This movie sucks. Whatever.
Yeah, all those people who just reliably popped up and say, lol, it made over $1 billion, so you're wrong. So
Oh,
where are you
God.
now? Yes, it did make $1 billion. It's still shit. It's made more money since then. It's not any better.
We talked about Transformers for 45 minutes. Those movies made a lot of money too, and they're ass.
Yeah.
You go, punchable face. I gave up after about an hour.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
That's when it started to move a little.
see, I still have no desire to watch this movie, like, at all. So,
Oh,
It's just a screensaver. You can find one of those old. I did that for the video. Find one of those old Windows XP, Windows 97 fish tank screensavers and just put that on. It's cheaper. It's more fun because you get to try and like predict where the fish are going and which
they were
fish
good,
you'll
they
see
were.
next. I know, it's
Yeah.
great fun. Yeah.
Fiona M in the chats for $5. Thank you, Fiona. Mr. Brown always wins. Sometimes.
yeah.
Sometimes.
A little help from his friends, yes.
Yeah, thank you, mods. Yeah, I think, as I said, I think YouTube has got a problem if there's a bot attack like that. But anyway.
Yeah, but they underestimated how many mods you have. Of all the channels that could possibly be bugged for this.
We criticized them for so long, and now it finally comes back. It was all for a reason.
Thank Fook. Okay, let's move on. I enjoyed it. It was flawed, bit self-indulgent at times. Story was a bit loose, blah, blah, blah. Lots of plot holes, but I still enjoyed it. Move on. Anybody see this? John Carpenter writing a zombie horror game. Toxic Commander.
Yeah, I saw the trailer. It looks I don't know, maybe this is just me, but I feel like there's a lot of zombie fatigue in video games now, the same way it was in the
And
early
films.
2000s. Yeah, the same way it was in the early 2000s with films. I think that's what we're seeing with the video games. Because there's just so many, and they all just look the same. For example, I saw the trailer of Toxic Commando, and I don't know, it just looked the same as anything, unless they changed the game mechanics to make it unique. Even then, I think the people are a bit tired of zombies. Plus, even they had those, the Last of Us zombies, like the blobs. Oh, well, there's always a blob in a zombie game nowadays. So they just have, all of that, and I just think it gets boring after a while. But maybe the story could be good. I'll give it that.
Platoon, you're into video games. Did you know about this?
No, I didn't. No idea. News to me.
Is Carpenter desperate for work?
I don't know. I mean,
he shouldn't be.
Well, what's he done recently?
He said that he wants to remake, not remake. He wants to do a sequel to the thing.
Oh God, I'd pay for that.
That would be fun. Hopefully,
that's what he said. He said he's sworn to secrecy for now, but there may or may not be a thing too soon.
Well, they need to get a move on.
May. Yeah.
It will be interesting to see just how much involvement he really has. Like, is this his name above the door because he's recognized in the genre? Has he actually written
a
here you
go, avid gamer apparently?
Yeah, it just doesn't always translate. Michael Crichton, who did Jurassic Park, was big into sort of emerging technology, and video games were emerging technology in the 70s, 80s. So he got involved in those very early on, he did a video game version of, I think, Prey, his book novel, Prey. I don't think the game itself was particularly good, though, and the story in the game wasn't particularly good because it's a very, very different experience. Even writing a screenplay to writing a game is a very different experience. So going from a novel to a game is difficult. Yeah, I don't know. I might keep an eye out for it when it comes out, but it completely passed me by. I'd never heard of it before.
I would imagine a zombie game could be quite frightening on a Apple Pro Vision.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Do you get
I
like
know.
a commode or a colostomy bag attachments?
Honestly, yeah. Now that you mention it, I think the horror movies and anything horror related on the Apple Vision Pro will. I mean, yeah, that would scare you to death.
You go, folks. Melvin Deeply, Prey was a half decent book, and then Appian, Resident Evil did it best.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing, because with the premise, you've got an overly familiar genre. There are too many zombie things around. There have been too many zombie things around since The Walking Dead, because everyone got
Agreed.
into zombies when The Walking Dead came out.
Yeah.
And on the second part, you've got probably too many zombie video games specifically, because everything from Call of Duty has a zombie mode to God, I can't even name them, but there are loads of zombie focused, zombie based video games. What can you do with this that has not been done before and that really distinguishes it, except for the fact that it's got John Carpenter's name in its title? That will be interesting to see. But if it's just a generic sort of scroller shooter, then nah.
You guys think it's an Elden Ring situation? Did what was his name again? George R. R. Martin actually participate in Elden Ring, or did he just sit down and have lunch and that's it?
It was said that he did the lore building stuff. So the guy, I can't remember the guy's name who runs the studio, he wrote the story for it. George R. R. Martin didn't write the story, but he did help build out the world stuff and some of the mystical elements and the sort of the spiritual elements that go into it apparently come from George R. R. Martin. But yeah, it's one of those when you can't really tell how much input was really there and how much it's just name recognition.
Yeah.
Lord, are you available to read a super chat, please?
I am, though my microphone is literally about to fall off the stand. Yeah, from Gui Ramos for 27.90 reals of some description, I would guess. Not entirely sure. Control/Alan Wake has the most unique take on zombie-like enemies. It's an extra-dimensional threat that operates through sound in Control. I did play a bit of Control, and it seemed kind of interesting, but I think it was only a demo, so I never finished it. But yeah, Control's a new take on a genre. I think it won some awards, and probably deservedly so, for trying new things. But yeah, the number of games that really genuinely try new things versus just repeat and repeat and repeat for a quick buck is not high.
Speaking of video games, there was a new Star Wars trailer today. Did anybody see that? New Star Wars game.
I didn't catch the trailer, but I heard the news. So this is the open world game from Ubisoft.
It looked incredible.
Yeah, well, yeah, I hope so. I mean, the premise, from what I gather, is that it's set between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. And so you are a female bounty hunter-y mercenary type person with a sidekick who goes around. It is an open world game. And I think it's scheduled for release next year. But then again, it's Ubisoft. So we might see it by 2026 and it might be playable by 2028. But we'll see what happens.
Okay, elephant in the room, strong female character.
I don't know.
It will depend on the character. There's nothing innately wrong with having a female lead who is strong and capable, but how fleshed out is she? Is she a Mary Sue strong and capable? Is she a generic cliche strong and capable woman, or is she actually properly written? Because no one was complaining when Tomb Raider came out that Lara Croft was a woman. So I tend to not prejudge things or try not to prejudge them, even if all the signs point to generic Mary Sue, because there's always a chance it won't be, and you won't know until you've seen it.
Smilex at Miss Brown answers me. It looked like a cutscene. It did. A very good one. Black lives or black votes, girl boss, yeah.
Did she have big hooties like Lara Croft, this female character? I'll have to look it up.
I wasn't looking at. I was looking at the spaceships.
Oh gosh.
I remember TIE fighters and all that. Okay. So we'll move on. John Carpenter writing for a zombie game. Another zombie game. Anybody see this? A new comic.
Yeah, I think I did see this.
Marvel Comics announces Predator v Wolverine. And we're not talking about Philip Schofield either. For the English people. A 4-issue limited series written by Benjamin Percy with art by Andrea DeVito, Ken Lashley, Kai Zama, Greg Land, and more.
It seems interesting. Predator versus Wolverine.
I would watch it.
Yeah.
You're into comics, aren't you, Matty?
Yeah, I love comics. They're like the best. It's like one of my favorite forms of entertainment. So I'll definitely pick this up, at least the first issue. Yeah, just to check to see. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out because I mean it looks interesting. Wolverine's a good character, but I love Predator, so I will definitely be checking this out.
Are they a little bit desperate though? Predator v Wolverine.
I
Who'd
mean,
thought of that?
I'm not quite sure, but they've always
What?
done stuff like this before, where they'll take something
Yeah.
random and mix it together just to
There you
see.
go. This is what you want.
I'd read that too.
Just as my mouse dies. I don't think we're doing very well tonight. My mouse has died.
Oh man.
And yes. Oh, sorry, chat moved up. Here you go. Predator v Wolverhampton. Yes. I used to live in Wolverhampton.
Batman versus Predator has happened like 4 times, I think. There are
Yeah.
4 series.
Yeah.
They're actually pretty good.
Yeah, I like those too. Yeah, they
Yep.
always mix these things together, and they're actually like, well, not all of them are hits, but they're like fun. You just gotta,
I think
Yeah,
they
they're
did
full-
Superman
full
versus
combat.
Aliens too.
Oh yeah, maybe. I don't remember if there was. I don't remember all of them.
I think
Does this genuinely stand a chance of being half decent? Not like, do you remember Snowflake and Safe Space?
Oh yeah, I mean they have a good track record of combining these things, and comic books get away with so much more than movies. Like that's what I was also saying about Across the Spider-Verse. Like it does stuff that it gets away with and can be praised just by the sheer fact that it's animated. Versus if you tried to do the same movie in live action, it just is what it is. It's also why you can't adapt things directly 1-to-1 from one kind of medium to another, because it happens to work in this for whatever reason. We could sit there and have a cool little analytical discussion about why, but they pull this shit off all the time in comic books, all the time.
Yeah, plus it's always a fun read. Anyways, it's nothing harmless.
Yeah, unfortunately they have Greg Land, who's terrible, but is what it is.
Okay. Shall we move on? Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah.
Somebody posted this, and I thought, okay, we'll go with it. This was from the original script for Blade Runner. Deckard's final voiceover. Deckard. I knew it on the roof that night. We were brothers, Roy Batty and I. Combat models of the highest order. We had fought in wars not yet dreamed of, in vast nightmares still unnamed. We were the new people, Roy and me and Rachel. We were made for this world. It was ours. So, according to some YouTubers, Deckard, replicant, not replicant or human, isn't it? So
It is. I mean, this is the question of authorial intent, though. If this is an early version of the script that was never, in fact, made, then
yeah,
is it really relevant to the question of is Deckard a replicant or not in the film that we actually got? And in this situation, I'm inclined to think no. I mean, it might give us a lead into what the creator was sort of vaguely thinking at the time the script was written, but it's not really an entry into that debate. Even it's a discarded idea as opposed to something that was actually presented.
For someone who's only seen the theatrical cut of Blade Runner and who didn't like it because of the way the story was told, what version would you recommend?
The other 1199 versions.
But the theatrical
Final cut
is
the one,
probably the most different of all of them. It's such a strange decision to have made because it's the one I think where Harrison Ford is narrating it because it's much more of a film noir detective style story. None of the others, or at least most of the others, have that narration at all. That's not how the story's told. So it's a much more cerebral film because he's not narrating absolutely everything he's doing and thinking and saying. I can't remember the distinctions between all of the cuts though. Which is like the longest definitive cut? Go with that one.
Okay. I'll rewatch it.
I think I saw the final cut with Polish subtitles. That was interesting. But I think it was kind of obvious what he was. Definitely a replicant. Stream killer. Silence is golden. Okay. We are going to review Blade Runner at some point. I've been sitting on the stills for over a year now.
Oh, wow.
We've just never got around to doing it. The first
Which version did the stills come from?
From the final cut. So I think the opening, the graphic I did was the 40th anniversary live stream. That was a year ago, so it'd be 41 now.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, we've been sitting on that for over a year. So we need to do it up at some point.
Yeah,
because it is a great film.
Oh, it is very much so.
Didn't understand it when I was 13. Coming off the back of Star Wars or Empire Strikes Back, I thought, what the fuck is this?
No, me, the last time I watched it, I was about 15, and it was the theatrical cut, and that really, it just pushed me off. It's the way that the story was told that I didn't like it, not the story itself. So I think as you guys said, a different way that the story is told, then easily, I'd probably enjoy the film more.
Here you go, Atom Gray. Please let me on the panel for that, Mr. Brown. You won't regret it. R2, great film. I didn't watch it for many, many, many years. And as I said, I recently watched it probably last year to do the slides. And I just thought it's fucking great.
Is the sequel any good?
I even like the sequel. Apparently it's not canon, blah, 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 all that stuff. But yeah, for what it is, I enjoyed 2049, yeah.
Okay.
It was better than I thought it was going to be, but it doesn't really hold a candle to the original because it's just not, it doesn't really do anything. It doesn't add a huge amount. It's not as profound. It's not as groundbreaking. It's a much more visually boring film. They lose the sort of very sort of colorful, exciting post-apocalyptic LA sets for this monotone
New
gray
York now,
everything.
mate. Yeah, New York.
New York, yeah.
But
it was better than I thought it was going to be. It's not. It's watchable. I would probably rewatch it.
Right. Yeah. Great soundtrack, especially in the summer. M Duke 84 for 250 Californian woke dollars. Deckard is an anagram of D-racked, so boobs there. Okay, a bit tenuous, but okay, we'll go with it. Okay. We'll move on, folks. Well, we will do Blade Runner at some point. Like we're going to do The Matrix. And anyway, let's move on. Finally, anybody see this? My Little Danny. Danny, is it Tio?
Oh God, it's Machete.
Yeah.
I'd buy one.
Yeah.
I'd buy that for $1.
Everybody in the Twitter feed said, get it produced.
Oh,
that was Danny who... that was Danny who posted that on his Twitter feed.
Oh, yeah, I'd buy one. My Little Danny Trejo. Plus the machete turns into a comb. That's nice.
Cynic, you're into things like this. You buy that?
Oh, fuck yeah. Show me the pre-order. I'll order everyone a copy. I'll order everyone one.
I kind of get the feeling they probably would produce it.
They should produce it.
Yeah, they should. Honestly, this would fly off the shelves.
I respect the Audi belly button.
Here we go. Appion, does he hunt the My Little Ponies? Wow.
Interesting.
I'm sure there'd be some kind of copyright issues. They couldn't do it with My Little Danny, could they? Would they be? It's too close to My Little Pony, isn't it?
Well, even if not, you could buy one of these and you could buy some separate My Little Pony action figure, whatever the hell they do, and have him kill those. That would be fun.
You could
Sure.
ride the My Little Ponies.
Yeah, they should just make an animated movie of Danny Trejo killing ponies. There you go. My Little Ponies.
Here you go. Oh, sorry, chat moved up. Fear M, this is brilliant.
Yeah, it is. My Little
then-
Danny.
Take my money. And on that, I think that is it, folks.
Oh.
In fact, I know it's. So, chat, you are wonderful. I think we kind of got the wind knocked out of our sails for a little while, but we kind of pulled it out the fire. So, chat, you are wonderful. We will see you next time. I think we're on Wednesday to do more Phantom Menace Part 4. So, chat, you are wonderful. We'll see you next time. I will thank the guests. Uninspired reviewer, thank you, my friend.
Oh, thank you for having me. Thank you, chat. Good as always, and great modding, getting rid of the
There were a
bot.
lot of them. Great to have you on, my friend.
Well, thank you.
Movie Cynic, cheers, my friend.
Cheers, my friend. We'll see you next time.
Will that be tomorrow, dude?
Well, I mean, you can come on our show tomorrow if you want.
What's the subject? This is B-Sup, everybody. What are you talking about? Do we know yet?
Well, I know. Well, Lil Platoon would know better.
Will I? Ooh.
Plug the show, my friend.
Do I know? I know we haven't finalized these. I've just got a list of things that we
You just
could
turn
talk
up, don't
about,
you?
but not. Yeah, I'll send a message later, and it'll be finalized by tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll make a thumbnail. And
Transformers.
it'll be good.
Transformers could go in there. Yeah, there's that. There's stuff. I guess Spider-Verse is still a thing. Indy 5's out soon.
Aren't we having the
Provision.
the guys on?
Oh, yeah, the guys from Desolate Soul Studios are coming on because they are launching, have launched, in fact, their comic run. So we will be helping. Well, we'll be
nice.
talking to them about that and get the lowdown on their creation and their campaign. So that will be one of them. And then the rest is TBD.
TBD.
Okay. Movie, appreciate you coming on. Lord, cheers, my friend.
Thank you, as ever.
Catty, are you there? Lesson.
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 Hi, nerds. I got him. Don't worry.
Catty, thank you, my friend. We'll see you next time. Chats, that's it. We will see you Wednesday if we don't see you Wednesday or tomorrow even on B-Sup. I'm sure we will be around next weekend. If you're in the UK, it's going to be Scorchio all week.
Oh, God. I'm melting right now.
Scorchio, it's just wall-to-wall Scorchio all week. So keep hydrated, everybody. I think that's it. We'll see you next time. Tally bye.
Bye.
And
Bye.
bots, piss off.